Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everybody from all around the world, hello, and welcome to a special July 4th edition of The Watchable with me, host, Jean-Luc Watch. Make some noise. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Clap it up. Get excited. Wherever you are, we are back with today's show. Again, it's a special championship round show like we do every Friday on July 4th. And hey, we're going to make it do what it do. We're going to have you all drive the conversation with us also having so much to discuss as well. Of course, we got an agenda. We got topics to cover. But you all drive the conversation for today on whatever you want to discuss for the whole hour, however long we're going to be doing this show today. And again, it's going to be phenomenal. It's going to be incredible. Get your grills ready if you're grilling out today because it's going to be hot. Get your sunscreen. Be hydrated, please. My gosh, today, be hydrated. We don't want nobody falling out trying to cook and have some fun on the grill today. Good gosh, we don't want that to happen. But while you're doing all your stuff, while you're doing your festivities, hey, come hang out with me. Come join the show. Come join the Empire. And please, leave a like on the stream, on the show right now. Comment your thoughts and opinions on whatever you want to discuss on the show. In the chat, we can go and pull it up for you all to be seen and heard by the masses. Also, be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you haven't already, come on and join the Empire. Hit the notification bell so you know whenever we post right here on YouTube for this podcast. And share the show with everybody that you know so we can keep on building up this empire together. All thanks to you and your support. We appreciate it oh so much, and we can't do this without you. Absolutely. So come on, help make this community great. Tell everybody what we got going on and bring them into what we got with this epic, insane, absolutely phenomenal show that we've put together all together with brick by brick, yard by yard, step by step, with you and me in lockstep and in tandem. And again, all the support, all this time. Hey, we started small, we still getting bigger, we growing, and it's all thanks to you. So hey, we can't do this without you. We appreciate it oh so much. If you also want to support the show, since we ain't got monetization yet, we're eking up there. Again, we're less than 100 hours away from getting monetization. We're talking super chats. We're talking stickers. We're talking whatever else in the world you can do once you hit that, what was it, 3,000 hour threshold, something of the like, whatever the case may be. We're almost there. And since we are, we're excited. We can do so much. But until then, we got means to support the channel with whatever you can give. Cash App, PayPal, links in the description as well. If you can support, again, we're not forcing nobody, but this is how I make a living. So if you can help, it would mean the world to me if you did help. And if you do give something, hey, put it in the chat. Put it in the ethos. Put it in the chat and tell me where you sent and how much you sent. Now I can verify it, and then I can go and give you your shout out and just do. Because again, we don't want to miss nobody. We don't want nobody to miss anything. When it comes to supporting the channel, we want to give you your props and absolutely show you some love with this community, no question about it. But like I said before, this is the championship round. The whole show is dedicated to you all making this show your own, placing whatever topics, opinions, debates, conversation, whatever the rest of the world you want to discuss. And since we're doing that, hey, we might as well jump into it right now. We've done all the pageantry, all the pleasantry. It's time to work. It's time to shine. So let's get it started right now. We in the championship rounds for the entirety of the show. Let's go. Yes, sir. Ring the bell. It's time to shine, make the show your own, and whatever y'all want to discuss for the entire episode, we can make it happen, and we'll flip-flop at the drop of a hat. But again, while we're waiting, we still got some stuff going on with agendas and topics that we can talk through while you get your questions together. But before we even do that, we got people in the chat, like with Aaron. Hey, Aaron, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. We're so glad that you're here. So glad that you joined us on this July 4th weekend. Hopefully we can make your day even better. Listen to us on the grill. Don't put us on the grill, please. Don't have us cooked, doggone it, because then you can't listen to it. Oh yeah, have us around the wherever you are on the surround sound system. I don't care. Who needs music when you got me to listen to as you're grilling out this morning? But let me see what you got to say. I remember when the Devin Haney narrative for no Gervonta Davis was what Haney did not to sell pay-per-view. Now these mega turkey pay-per-view, with these mega turkey pay-per-views, Devin gets to now say he can claim the pay-per-view numbers. No excuses for Gervonta Davis. And even beyond that, what beyond just the numbers? Because again, there's other people in the community that again no numbers better than me. But beyond just the narrative that's been flipped and all this stuff, specifically with Gervonta Davis, the threshold for everything that he was claiming to have as to why he was the face that ran the place, to quote again wrestler AJ Styles, all that's getting trickled away. Like the money that he could flaunt to say, I don't need nobody. We got more boxers making some of their biggest paydays on a consistent basis. The pay-per-view numbers, like you brought up, we're eking closer to his pay-per-view with Ryan Garcia getting blown out of proportion by Canelo versus Crawford. And also, mind you, that fight was also the biggest fight that Tank's ever had in his career with Ryan Garcia, and he's never gotten close since then or before then. So he can't even keep up to his own perceived high expectations of what he can bring in. Numbers what? Now, yes, he's still I'm not saying he's a big star, but in terms of the longer we see this man not going and chasing greatness and legacy, the more we're starting to see the arguments that we had for what made Tank the it guy start to go down more and more and more. I don't want that for Tank. I'm not trying to hate on Tank. I know he can be great, and I know if he has some consistency, all these claims that he had about what he is to the sport of boxing would be valid. But the issue is he's not consistent. More than not consistent, even in his consistency, it is lackadaisical. He is consistently average when it comes to chasing legacy, and that is what is ultimately biting him in the butt. It is. Shakur is all of a sudden elevated. We were saying Shakur is a brother who ain't even in any way, shape, or form a exciting fighter to watch. Now, again, he's a phenomenal boxer. I loved watching him. The wider boxing public said that they did not want to see Shakur Stevenson. All of a sudden now, Shakur is one of the bigger names, or he was already a big name, but he is now a more in the public eye name that is recognized. And we're seeing Tank's name value to some degree go down. Now, I'm not saying Shakur is close to Tank, but I'm saying the gap that he could always flaunt with, I don't need you, it ain't there no more. Because they've been doing work. They've been in the ring. They keep on doing stuff. While Tank, now again, Tank is with Lamont Roach, fighting him up with Lamont Roach, wait for the rematch, we get it. But we're waiting on the Tank rematch, absolutely. And we're excited for it. When have we ever thought, and again, Miss Queen, I see your chat. I'm about to get it to you right now. Let me just finish this thought real quick. With the likes of Shakur reaching this level of peaking, somewhat peaking in popularity, or getting up more popular very quickly, at least known in the public eye, with Tank Davis needing a rematch against somebody because it was a close fight. Why is it that it feels that Tank in that fight isn't as big of a deal as we know as it should be? And to a degree, it's because the man's own legacy is not able to keep up the excitement for as long as it should be when it comes to, oh, okay, now you got a competitive fight. We're all waiting on it. You know why? Because all of a sudden, everybody else around you is doing stuff that, ooh, that's more exciting. Ooh, that's intriguing. Oh, that's something we got to pay attention to. It used to be that because boxing was so slow when it came to going and making stuff happen in the sport, that, yeah, a Tank fight would be the only thing that would be needed to be cared about for the vast majority of people. Now, all of a sudden, everybody's fighting consistently. Everybody's losing that we didn't think would lose. So all of a sudden, the pot of actual competition is a lot more volatile and it's a lot more entertaining on a consistent basis. But rather with Tank, who wasn't taking on any real big competition on average during the highest of highs in his career. Now, when he actually takes on a dog, well, somewhat he gets lost in the shuffle. Yes, he still is the biggest headliner that we're waiting on for August 16th. We get that. I'm not saying the fight, we don't care. We do care. Absolutely. I've said that fight is the most important fight in Tank's career right now. Absolutely. To his legacy. Absolutely. But it is no longer just the end-all be-all for the only thing that we care about in boxing is Tank fighting. Just getting in the ring is not enough now. And now just being tested, even for Tank, ain't the thing to keep you afloat above head and shoulders the rest of the boxing world like it used to be, because nothing was happening in the boxing world when Tank was doing less than nothing. From the standpoint of continually taking on people that ain't really on his level. It's problematic. That's why we see what we see now with Tank and seemingly the biggest name in the sport, quote unquote, which again, he's not, but he's still one of the top three. Ain't really feeling like it as much as you think it should be, at least in recent weeks. But let me see, Miss Queen, how you doing? Good to see you. I told you I was gonna get back to you. I just had to finish my quote, but thanks for tuning in. Glad that you're here. Glad to see you coming through. Let's see, he brought the Welch way. So let me find the Welch Queen. Oh boy, let me see. Gina firefighter, he want all the smoke. He's saving people's lives at 140. Hey. Look, with these fights at 140, or just in general with Turkey Al Sheik and all this stuff going on with people getting opportunities, this is what the boxing would have been wanting consistently. Now we're getting it. Now you're starting to see what for years, older generation saying, hey man, boxing's not what it used to be. It wasn't because they were just complaining like we see in the NBA with old heads trying to bring down the sport when the sport's actually better. We have more amalgamations of talent, sure. It's great, but they ain't doing nothing against each other for various reasons, both behind the scenes and with individual fighters. It's a mess. But now, we're getting that semblance of there's something going on almost every 2 or 3 weeks. Almost every fight, even cards that people don't care about. If you watch them, all of a sudden it's like, oh shoot, we just found some new people to keep up with. Kobata and Tanaka that we watched on the Jin Sasaki card versus Brian Oman. Brother, oh my gosh. Next thing you know, everybody wants to see who the world's this Tanaka brother that just keeps eating punishment, but at the same time is dishing it out, and you can't get away from it. Like we're getting exposed, and it's great, and we love it. Absolutely. Let me see. Yes, Welch, you nailed it on the head. Hey, I appreciate. I'm glad that we agree. And so they see, he got that hammer for sure. Hey man, look, I'm just trying to call like we see. Imagine if Chavez Jr. became a Hall of Fame. Let me tell you something right now. I can't believe this brother got arrested. Look, the amount of drama that's taking place from that fight. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. What the world? This brother got detained by ICE. How? I was so confused. I was like, wait, if they knew. And again, I have my problems with ICE. I have my problems with a bunch of stuff going on right now in this country. I tell you what. But I'm going to tell you this right now. Why the world would they arrest him if they were going to do it? Why the world would they do it after the fact if they had all this information before? All this is out the blue to me. Cartel connections, a criminal record, all this stuff. I'm like, wait, where did this come from? We've been following Chavez from his rise and fall. Something doesn't smell right. Something doesn't smell right. Something does not smell right about that whole situation. I'll tell you that right now. But again, there's people that know more about that than me. I'm gonna tell you that. I know where my deficiencies lie. Absolutely. Let me keep on reading. These cats are talking big, are taking big fights and making Tank have to have meaningful fights. Yes, they are. You're nailing it, which I like. I'm saying to myself, hey, I'm glad we're on the same page. Tank doesn't want no Shakur, and props to Welch for calling out other fighters. This is good. You have to understand, Tank is normally a rocket launcher for anybody that he fights against. Isaac Cruz, perfect example. Brother was always exciting. Brother was a real menace. When he fought Tank and put on a great performance, everybody recognized, wait, this cat is something to be respected. We want to see this brother again. Then he got him to a title, which, great, phenomenal. But he's normally been the launching off point because, again, Tank was the event. It wasn't the fight. It was not the fight. It was the event. Now, it's a little bit different from Tyson. Tyson was the event as well, but it was because of the fight also. And I'm not trying to sound confusing. Essentially, the spectacle of Tank and the spectacle of Tyson both had rabid fans, absolutely. But the difference was there was substance behind Tyson because he was taking on the top opposition while still doing the destructive nature. So it was never just only, oh, he's knocking folks out. I can't wait to see what this brother does. He's knocking out the best in the heavyweight division on his rise to the top. Again, before the downfall that we know with the drugs and Don King and all that stuff that messed him up, that took him out of his prime well before he should have been out of his prime. Absolutely. But on that rise up, everything to the championship and a little bit after he won the title up until Buster Douglas, that filled with great names, quality names. Even afterwards, he was still facing the best in the division. Though people may say that division wasn't, at that point in time, wasn't as steeped with talent per se. Some people say Tyson was in a weak division at heavyweight, which is why he was able to be so dominant. You highlighting that he lost to Lennox Lewis, though he was well out of his prime against Lennox Lewis, and against Holyfield, he was mentally out of his prime because the brother had already essentially he was nowhere close to the Tyson that we had seen terrorizing the boxing public. Nowhere close. But physically, sure, we can say he was in his prime, and he lost. And so they bring up every major fight he's been in with a big other great Hall of Famer. He lost him. But again, there's context behind that. Absolutely. There is context behind it as to what happened and what caused said downfalls to occur. But I digress. The brother had substance. Tank got hype without substance. He was, even with all of his actual good wins with Tank, there is an asterisk behind something. Leo Santa Cruz, he brought him up from multiple weight classes. Great fight, but he still brought him up from a small weight class. Pedraza, he didn't want to fight Pedraza. He felt Floyd was setting him up. Gamboa, he was out of his prime and tore his Achilles in that fight. Early in that fight, like round 2 or 3. Somehow survived to round 9. What the world? Didn't make no sense. But still, Ryan Garcia, weight drained and legitimately injured going into that fight, and he knew it. In terms of Tank's team, knew it. Almost every fight that he's been in has a level of, there's something there that hangs over what this performance is. Now, again, is that life or is that, meticulous? Both can be true. He set some things up, absolutely. The weight clauses, the rehydration clause, all that stuff, was set that up. But also, he did get the job done. I'm not taking away the wins. What I am saying is now those wins also came from people that we were saying you should be well impassed by now in who you're fighting. Now when you face off against Lamont Roach, like if you weren't here, like I said yesterday, Lamont is a brother that you should not have had a struggle with. He was a surprise all of a sudden. Oh man, this brother's the real deal. Coming up for 130. Wow, we didn't expect that. But now, just beating Lamont in a rematch is not going to be enough to satisfy the masses for what they want to see Tank do anymore. Because now they expect you to go through. Shakur is there. Schofield is ranked number 1 for your belt, and now ranked like number 5 by the WBA, or no, not WBA, the Ring magazine. And so, like, he's right there with you. Shakur is right there. Excuse me. Schofield's ranked number 1 and ranked number 5, I believe, by WBA and the Ring. Shakur, champ, 135, waiting on you. You didn't fight Lomachenko, he retired. You've had, again, now more. Abdullah Mason's a champion now. And legitimately, he's looking like one of the elites in the division. You have a murderer's row, a rogues gallery. You have an entire syndicate of fighters that you can fight against. Where are you going to go once? If, you beat Tank. That's what we're waiting on. Because Lamont Welch, if you beat him, more power to you. Phenomenal. Overcame adversity. Now do it again against the people that got the belts and the people that we said you should have been fighting in the first place. That's all we're asking. That's really all we're asking. Let's see. They did Chavez dirty, bro. They're gonna be doing this at fights now, y'all. Look, ooh, that's what I'm scared of. That's really what I can't lie. And again, like we keep it sports, but again, sports, politics, culture is intertwined. It's going to intercross at some point. We have to discuss it. This is one of those times. These policies by this administration, and especially now with what they signed with the bill, now essentially giving upwards of $100 billion to ICE to be able to go and essentially be the largest, excuse me. Why can't I say that? Largest policing force in the country right now with the funding they're going to be able to get. They're going to start highlighting specific events to go and do. Bad Bunny ain't coming to the States no more. He canceled his tour. Or rather, he isn't touring here, though he would normally be touring here in the summer. Another artist canceled his stuff, coming here. That Canelo fight, Canelo and Crawford, could run into these same potential stopgaps with fans getting detained because they don't look like they from here. Mind you, if you really understand the bill and the ability of ICE now, and again, we're not sure, this is not a political show. We're not afraid to get into politics, but this is not a political show. But it's to help inform you of what's going on. Because again, this is affecting the sport now. There is no longer clause for due process and for what deems you a citizen or not citizen by you having identification. Because the way it works, very simply, if you are a citizen, by the rule of law, you don't have to go through and prove yourself because you are one. But it's a contradiction because they can detain you and say that you aren't a citizen even if you have valid ID, because they'll say it's counterfeit. They've done it before multiple times across like 3 different states. It's bad. It's really bad. So they can indiscriminately choose who they want and don't want to take down because they think or don't think that you are something that you cannot prove, even if you have the actual evidence that you are a citizen. It is a slippery slope of destruction. And again, we are not a political show, but we are informed. And this is bad. This is going to cause fights for fight fans, especially the Mexican population. Oh my gosh. One of the biggest swaths of fans in this nation. The most passionate fans in this country. Which, because it's culturally, this sport is part of their identity. It's a beautiful thing. But because of that, it's going to be targeted. And that's so bad. That I know it's July 4th, but I don't care, because if you actually love a country, you call out what's wrong with it, not just what's good about it. And this is absolutely abhorrent. And this is going to affect, again, Chavez fought and he got arrested. Who knows who got questioned going into that fight? Canelo with Netflix in, where's that? Is it in what, Las Vegas? Or is it in Arlington? Well, I forget which stadium it's in. But the amount of people that are going to come out for that fight, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Like it's insane. And the amount of Canelo supporters, even Canelo haters that want to see Canelo get beat. I don't care who. Which we've talked about in the past with somebody who understands the Mexican populace more than me in terms of the fandom with Benavidez and Canelo and the grudge match between those two and how the fans are split down the middle. Some people will pay to go and watch this brother lose because they don't like that brother in terms of Canelo. Either way, he brings in his people by leaps and bounds. And there's a situation where this fight is going to be one of the biggest stomping grounds for the Mexican populace and the Mexican fan base. And they can potentially be targeted. And this is really bad. I'm not going to mince words about it. This is really bad. This can be a slippery slope very quickly. And we're only months away. I'm telling you, there's a problem. It's a big problem. Now, again, like I'm not trying to turn this into a political show, but I would be remiss if I did not show you all, or at least explain to you, the severity of situations that are going on right now in this country. But again, I digress from here. Let me keep on reading because I don't want to miss nobody. And I'm sorry for the I don't want to bring the show down, but I have to say it. Again, we keeping them biased right here. I try to do the best I can to be as informed as possible so I can give you the right information. This is what's going on. And I hate to say it, but we did this to ourselves. We did it to we did it to ourselves. I can't lie. We did it to ourselves. I can't lie. But again, that's a whole nother conversation. We can go. It's man. Oh, it's problematic. But let me see. Tank is a great fighter, and he mirrors the Tyson mystique. But Tyson faced better ops, even though he took L's. He wasn't afraid to lose. Yes, absolutely, no question about it. Perfect analogy of what we're trying to show. Let me see. Off topic, but Chavez. But was Chavez Jr. ever a top fighter? So Chavez was a champion. He did get a belt. At one point in time, he was legitimately on top of the world, or at least on top of the division, and had gotten a piece of legacy of his own as being a champion. He was good at one point in time. The issue was he let himself fall, and that short stint fell apart incredibly quick, and then he never got back to even what was the good version, not the great version, just the good version of him, because of life outside the ring. I think it was what was it? Addiction problems. That's what it was. Addiction problems that he finally got cleaned up. But for 10 years he was in and out. It was bad. But no, he was at one point in time. He was up there, not pound for pound, but he was like, hey, but I'm the real deal at one point. But it's just, man, it's frustrating. It's so frustrating. Listen, when he won the WBC belt, he was legit top fighter at 160. Yep, see, absolutely. You beat me too, but Aaron's absolutely right. It's great support to my Mexican brothers and sisters from this black man in LA. Hey, man, support from here down south. Hey, look, we like I said, everybody's invited in this community, and we only want to preach and teach and show love and support. And look, I know it's hard. It's hurt. It's looking bad. But I'm telling you, we can and we will get through this. It is a very tough time in this country right now. But I promise you, we will get through this. No matter how dim the light may be, there is still a light at the end of the tunnel. No matter how dark it may seem in the night, there is still a 12 o'clock midnight, which means there is a rollover into the next morning. No matter how dark and how hard it may seem to find your way during this very tumultuous, very dangerous time. I get it. Completely, I understand. But we will get through this together. We're going to have to. It ain't a choice. Because that's what we do. Brother, are we not an empire? Are we not an empire? Guess what that means? We gonna work. I don't care what it means or what it takes. We gonna fight. That's what we gotta do. That's what we do. Ain't this a predominantly fighting show? We fight, doggone it. we don't give up until the last bell rings. And I ain't hear no doggone bell yet. Though we've been rocked. I can't lie. I can't lie. We've been rocked. We got caught. We got caught. We got caught bad. I can't lie. But we gonna get through it. We gonna recover. It may take some clinches. It may take us. We might have to run, and just to get recoup just for a round or two. But I guarantee you, we gonna get back up, and we gonna come out swinging. Whether it's 1 round or 2 rounds from now, I don't care how many rounds it takes. We gonna make our comeback, and we gonna get right. That's what we do. That's what we do together, and we gonna help each other out any way that we can. At least that's the aim anyway. But that's what we gonna do absolutely. But let me see. Happy 4th to Real Boxing Day. Yeah, stand up, absolutely. Support all the brown skinned people, and this administration coming for you. Old white guy from Illinois. Hey, look, we want. If we want to, and again, I'm not trying to be preachy. I get it. I know that this ain't what you came here for. We ain't trying to do that. We have our niche. We keep our niche, but we don't mince words when it comes to talking about things that are important. And this is important. No matter what race, credit, or creed, this was a country that was built off of immigration and the backs of people that aren't from here. That's the truth. Black, brown, or otherwise. This whole country, this is a melting pot. Because, brother, a melting pot means that you're putting different ingredients inside to help make something that tastes good. That's what we're doing. That's what this country was built on. That's what, we can't get away from that. No matter how hard we want to try. And trust me, they trying. And by they, I mean administration, people in power. We get specific. We don't just do they as an overarching. No, we call out the actual people that are doing this. We do. But regardless of which, we band together. We can get through this. And we're going to support. I promise you, we're going to support. We're going to support, absolutely. But let me keep on reading. We laying low too. Gonna celebrate at work to show respect. Hey, peace. Yeah, look, we like I said, we ain't celebrating. We ain't doing a whole bunch either. I'll cook some hot dogs because it's free, or rather because that some of them are on sale. We got some. Great. I love the country. I do. I live here. But because I love it, I hate what it's turned into. And so, like, you can't be blind to the issues at hand because of a loyalty to a man or a movement. You can't, because when you do that, just like in boxing, just like in boxing, when we go through and blindly support a fighter without calling out the stuff they need to fix, guess what happens? You turn into Deontay Wilder. You turn into a brother who now you refuse to fix what's wrong, and now you're back at the bottom of the barrel and you can't find your way back up because you didn't listen when you had the chance. We don't want that. We don't. Critiquing is not hate. Critiquing is a show of love. If you didn't critique, that means you don't care. Guess what that means? You could care less if he loses. You could care less if they get better. You could care less if they existed in the sport. Talking about boxing, but also applying to politics, life, culture, whatever the case may be. You critique because you care. If you didn't care, you wouldn't say anything. I care. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Completely understandable. But I care. And so because of that, this country's going to pot. So we got to call it like we said. Absolutely. Let me get real. I love this channel. This is that grassroots, no gloss and glamour type stuff. Real fans. Hey man, look, we got sound effects. Like we try to spruce it up a little bit. I'm kind of bare bones because I'm learning how to do all this stuff right now. But hey, I don't care how much we're gonna grow. We're gonna elevate, absolutely. But I don't care how much we get better with this show. There has to be a level of consistency when it comes to talking about things across the board. At least that's what I want this show to be. You may not agree with everything. I completely understand. Now again, we want opinions to be in here. Again, not like violent opinions or like just abhorrently egregious opinions that are like, no, you are just demeaning. We're not talking about that. But we want dialogue. Because without dialogue, we can't get better. I only know what I know in the sports world because I talked and I got proved wrong, or I learned something new by having conversation. But being unafraid to engage is what allows us to learn and formulate something that can actually put together an actual solution or an answer to something. Echo chambers are not good. I don't care for what it is. Listening to the same stuff is not good. Because it only hones you in to a certain threshold. And it doesn't allow you to get a broader picture of what the actual situation is. Because you only listen to what you like instead of what needs to be heard. Instead of stuff that can help inform, reform, or chisel out aspects of whatever your thought process hey, this is wrong. This is a better way to think about something. How about this? And this ain't that thing where you're asking questions just to ask questions, because that is a whole nother conversation that leads to a lot of the ideas that we see now popping back up, because people were just asking questions just to pry their own idiotic ideologies into the minds and into the hearts of a bunch of people by trying to act like a fake inquisitive type of person when they were just trying to push a really bad agenda. We're not talking about that. We're talking about genuinely going through and having conversations, debates, discussions to learn, grow, be challenged, and to help you think on a deeper level. That's all we want to do on this show. We may not change your mind. We may not change how you feel, but you at least now get a vantage point that allows you to, every time you think about something, you aren't just at the surface level. And you have a means that you can go deeper in thought. And that's the thing. That's all we want. That's all we're asking. Let me see. Hit the like button. Happy 4th of July. Hey, everybody, if you would, please hit the like button. Please do. Please do. I love it. I appreciate it. But please do. We're trying so hard. It is hot down here in the south. It is upwards of 90-something degrees. Every time a cloud in the sky, my window is adding some extra light to make me look nice and clean and pristine. But doggone it, this glare is heating up my room to kingdom come. And we got the AC on. It's a good AC too, but brother, I wore black. And I am black. I'm sweating like a stuffed pig. I tell you what. Oh, it's a nightmare. Oh, it's horrible. But I'm having fun doing it, regardless of which. But hey, if you want me to keep doing it, keep on supporting the show. Keep on sharing and liking it. Hey, if you want to support, we got means up here on the screen and in the link in the description. Again, shameless plug, just to, just, and I do what I gotta do. But oh man. Oh boy, but let me get back to it. Let me see. Business and Groovy, building the empire brick by brick. Yep, that's what we do. Al Booga, what's good with you, brother? How you doing? Thanks for tuning into the show. Glad that you are here. No question about it. Let me see, but we got Love King. Hold on, did I already say? I think I said hi to you. If I didn't already, what's up, Love King? How you doing as well? Thanks for tuning in to the show on this 4th of July weekend and 4th of July day. Absolutely. Let me see. Just don't sell out, stay with the people. I hope your channel grows in abundance. Hey, look, I don't want to. I hope I don't. Lord knows, I can say it. I hope I keep these same morals. That's why I'm trying to be as humble as I can. I don't know everything, but I know what is right and wrong. And I know what I want to be to you. And if I want to be that, I got to make sure I do everything on the up and up. I have to. And so we're going to do the best we can. Absolutely. And we're going to make sure that I don't want to make that mistake. I don't want to make that mistake at all. Absolutely not. If I do, call me out on it. Please. But I ain't trying. I do not want to make that mistake at all. Because again, this channel, we built on. We trying to be as real as we can be. Absolutely. And so, I'm going to stick to it. Because that's all we got to do. That's all we can do. If I want to be the best I can be, I can't sell out. I can't. I got to be me. I got to do what I do best. And hopefully, y'all are enjoying it as well. But again, like I said before, this is still the championship rounds. I didn't mean to go awry. This whole show is a championship round endeavor. Whatever questions or comments you want to talk about, like we do every Friday, today's a special 4th of July type of day, we can discuss it. If you want to talk about tiers, if you want to talk about dream matchups, if you want to talk about fights that you hope to make happen, if you want to talk about Tank, Shakur, Floyd Schofield, Abdullah Mason, Tyson Fury, who's coming back, fighting against potentially Usyk, Daniel Dubois, if you think he can beat Usyk to fight Tyson Fury in what would be a unification, or not a unification, but what would be another undisputed shot for the likes of the Gypsy King. Do you want to talk about Moses Atuma? We can talk about multiple divisions. Inoue versus Junto Nakatani. All this different, just in the boxing world alone, there's a plethora of things that we can discuss. What you want to put in your pound for pound list? All of this stuff and have a debate. Everything is in line for you to say and do whatever you want to do. No question about it. Or outside of boxing, whether it's basketball, whether it's football, whether it's the free agency, whether LeBron will leave or not, whether or not DeAndre Ayton's enough for Los Angeles, what's going on with this potential 7-team trade that's going to take place hypothetically within the coming weeks with the Lakers, the Warriors, the Grizzlies, the Hawks, and like 3 other squads. It's ridiculous. This could be we might just see LeBron out of LA before the season starts, hypothetically, with what some of these rumors of what this big 17 trade is going to be regarding the Lakers and like a third of the Western Conference. It's insane. But hey, whatever you all want to discuss, put it in the chat. We can talk about it also. But while we are getting your questions together, we can make some topics of our own. Like with, hey, we got some news on the words of the Turkey Al Sheikh card, and apparently a bunch of fights are happening at the same time on the same card. So that fight with Benavidez and Yard, apparently that ain't the only that card is going to be consistent of most of the fights that we said are getting announced. Abdullah Mason versus Noakes for Mason's title in his first title defense. He's getting it. All right, excuse me, to get his first title. My bad. That's going to be on the card. I believe, who's the other one? There was another fight that was on the card as what I just had. Let me pull it up. I got a list of some of the stuff that was on there. Hold on. Excuse me. I don't know why I'm sniffing. I don't know why. I'm not sick. I'm not sick. I think it might be just something in the air. Yeah, here we go. Haney versus Brian Norman. Benavidez versus Anthony Yard. Abdullah Mason versus Noakes. This and also, I think like 2 more fights. All are potentially going to happen on the same card as that Benavidez card in November. So if that's the case, great day in the morning. I mean, shoot. Oh my gosh. You want to talk about absolute insane plethora of talent. We're talking about this. That would legitimately be. If we got Benavidez, Yard, Norman, Haney, Abdullah Mason, Noakes, and potentially another, I think there's another big star that's there, that would genuinely be one of the biggest cards of the year. That would actively be one of the biggest cards of the year. That would be insane. Question is, who would be the main event? Would it be Benavidez versus Anthony Yard? Or would it be Devin Haney versus Brian Norman? Which, if you didn't know, Devin Haney and Brian Norman, they are officially going to fight. It's happening. Where's my button? It's here. No, wait, let me hit that again. There we go. It's here. It's legitimate. It's not a fluke. Again, we talked about it before. We said that Devin Haney had ducked, or rather more so Bill Haney was ducking Brian Norman Jr. seemingly when it came to negotiations falling apart. However, now everything's all well and good, and it is happening, which is great. We discussed who we think is going to win on a surface level type endeavor. We discussed that it's great that Devin Haney isn't ducking any smoke. Now, if all these cards are on the same, if all these fights are on the same card, Benavidez versus Yard or Haney versus Norman, who's going to be the main event? Honestly, it might be Norman versus Haney because of the shock value of the KO and the already high recognized name of Devin Haney. While Anthony Yard versus Benavidez, for me, would be the most intriguing fight of the night, because I would be very interested to see how how Benavidez handles a legit, powerful former title contender in Anthony Yard, which would be his last step to getting a shot at the winner of B-Ball versus Beterbiev, where they have their undisputed fight, which is now in 2026. Hey, that fight's no longer happening on this card. Or rather, that fight's no longer happening at the end of December like we expected. That fight's happening early next year. Why? I don't know. That doesn't make sense to me with the age of Artur Beterbiev. If you want this fight to be as competitive as it can be, while Beterbiev's prime somehow, some way, it's still there. For some odd way, shape, or form, this brother is still walking like a Terminator with meniscus tear? Was his ACL, something in his knee? And he's fighting healthy, perfectly fine. 42, 41, whatever the case is, it ain't bothering him at all. But with that age also comes a risk that the body can drop from you at any given point in time. Just look at the world of Manny Pacquiao, who's making his comeback 8 years later after fighting Ugas and losing. The brother threw 800 punches, but he said, my legs are gone. I can't do what I do no more. I got to retire because I'm no longer Manny Pacquiao. The bottom can fall from Artur Beterbiev just like that. Not because he isn't great, but because he is old. He's old. That's the issue. The brother he's just old. And he is battling Father Time. But that doesn't mean he's going to ultimately win, because at any given point, the floor can collapse from under him. And he's no longer the Beterbiev that we've seen at any given point. So why push this fight to next year, understanding that is the potential concern? When you would be guaranteed a better fight if you had it at the end of the year, like it was expected, like it was going to happen. To me, it makes no sense. It's going to be counterproductive. Unless there's an injury that took place that we don't know about, and that may be why they're pushing it back. Unless that's the case. And that is a big if statement. Because I haven't heard anything from either camp as to what's going on or if anybody is indeed injured. So it's like, I'm going to say this. If you were going to push the fight back with Bivol and Beterbiev, after it being agreed upon, you should have just made the fight with Beterbiev, with Bivol versus Benavidez. You should have. Because again, the whole reason why we said we wanted to see this fight was because one, we thought we were getting it next. And two, it was the only other fight now we wanted to see Bivol in. But if that was going to happen, we were saying, okay, this year, great. Now that it's happening next year, it would have been better off just to have the Benavidez fight. It would have been better off to give this man the shot that he deserved, instead of risking Beterbiev and his prime potentially drop from out on under. And it's a shame. It's a real shame to me. Also, if you didn't know, speaking of Benavidez, Turki Al-Sheikh has said that now it is a goal in his promoting career to get Canelo to fight David Benavidez within this 4-fight deal. And so that's good. Hey, that's great. That's great. Making a conscious effort to get this brother in the ring with one of the most savage fighters in not just 168, but at 175 as well. This is phenomenal. Oh, glorious day that now this is a goal. The only issue is what can Turkey do to force the issue? Now, we say money. I get that completely. I completely understand that. Money got it in droves. This brother was able to get Tyson Fury out of retirement from his fourth one after fighting Derek Chisora and Dillian White of all people to defend his belt. He was able to get him out and fight Usyk twice. Get him ready. About to have him fight a third time. If we see Tyson Fury truly come back, like seemingly Turkey has now officially said he's coming back in 2026. So hey, another needle in the realm of the sport of boxing getting moved. We love it, absolutely. But the issue is with Canelo versus Tyson. I don't know if a paycheck's going to be able to make Canelo fight David Benavidez versus Tyson Fury. Because it took a stupid amount of money to get Tyson Fury out there. But Canelo, it ain't been about the money. It hasn't. It's something more. It's more like, it's just an outright reluctancy. And I don't know if it's just a paycheck that's going to have him be able to make that fight happen. And that's what I'm concerned with. It's a goal, but how, even though he's the only promoter that I've seen that's been actively saying, I want to make this fight. Of all the times we've been trying to get this fight to happen, he's the only one that's been putting together fights that says, this is the fight I want to make, and has made that known publicly. At least from what I can know, what I can remember. But how's he going to do it? That's the question. Let me see. I can't see the fight happening at this point. Canelo, a 168-pounder, and David is flirting with cruiserweight. You're right. But you have to understand, there's two sides to this coin. All of these concerns are valid. And also, before I answer, please, if you haven't already, hit the like button. And please share it with everybody that you can to get everybody in on the conversation. We love it. We cherish it. We want to see what you all got to say. Absolutely. And I'm trying to make sure I got my title spelled correctly so that I am well and away going to be able to be seen by the wider by the wider public. Hold on, wait a minute. Okay, there we go. You just had to make sure my stuff was correct. But with Canelo fighting at 168 and Benavidez 1 or 2 fights away from cruiserweight, all of that's valid, but it can still happen. You know why? Because one, Benavidez says he'll move back down. If Canelo actually comes to the table, he'll move back down to fight him. That's number one. He said that on multiple occasions. Number two, Canelo has essentially been plotting his revenge to get back to 175 at some point in time. He keeps on saying he wants to fight Bivol. Great. Phenomenal. He keeps wanting a title at 168, or excuse me, at 175. That's in some way, shape, or form avenge his loss. If he can't get Bivol, and he won't, I repeat, he won't fight Archer Beterbiev. Because when Archer was champ, and when Archer won, Canelo ain't say a word. Remember, we covered that. But I ain't say a word at all. Kept his mouth locked tight. Because he know what would happen if he fought Beterbiev. He would get destroyed. He would die. He would absolutely kill over. I guarantee you. But he can't. Essentially, what I'm trying to say is, Beterbiev is out. Bivol he wants to fight. Benavidez, he says, is not big enough. Benavidez now has nixed any argument for Canelo to say that he's not big enough anymore. He's gone to the division that Canelo went to. He's won against former champions and has a belt of his own. He's getting ready to fight against another contender. He is indeed now a wide household name. He is. And on top of that, this brother is creating a legacy that now is being proven to stand on its own merit. And just like we've been saying in the past, Canelo is chasing the ghost of Julio Cesar Chavez. The living ghost. He ain't dead, but the living ghost of Chavez. The actual ghost of Salvador Sanchez. and other Mexican champions. Yes, he's at he's near the top of the list, but still, he's trying to get there. Because he's trying to get there, question becomes why, what does he need to do? And he knows, I don't care how much he may say it's not a factor. He knows that the only way he can reach that zenith of passing or at least getting up to time the likes of Chavez Jr. Not Jr., Chavez Sr. Not Chavez Jr., Chavez Sr. The only way Canelo can get up to the level of Chavez Sr., Julio Cesar Chavez, would be to go and fight the Mexican monster. That's it. He knows it. The Mexican public knows it. Most boxing historians, they know it. Most fans know it. David Benavidez is not a cherry on top of a great career. David Benavidez is the magnum opus for Canelo's career. You lost to Floyd and you grew. You dominated and you moved up and you lost to Bebo. But before that, you were beating Kovalev. You had done most everything you can in the sport, which is great. However, just like we hold Terrence Crawford in high regard because of what he did, it's capped off by beating his biggest op in Errol Spence Jr. Errol, I don't care what anybody says. Errol Spence isn't just the greatest win for Terrence Crawford right now. Errol Spence was the barometer that solidified what Terrence Crawford is. He is. Triple G had to fight Canelo Alvarez and vice versa to further cement or to dry the cement on what the legacy is. Ali had to fight Frazier. Ali had to fight Foreman. Tyson had to fight Holyfield. These aren't just names that are great. These fights are the settling of a foundation that is your career. That's why they're so important. They make what you've done even more robust in its impressiveness because it is solidified with a performance against one of those other greats. It is. Meldrick Taylor had to fight Julio Cesar Chavez. Many people feel, and I might be inclined to feel that way too, that Meldrick Taylor should have won that fight against Chavez Sr. But part of the reason why his legacy is what it is now, which is great, was because of the fight that he had with Chavez Sr. In a win or a loss. This brother was great in that fight and arguably won that fight outright up until he got the late stoppage that many people feel, hey, that shouldn't have been a stoppage, or at least counted out like he did, or waved off with the last seconds in the round. With him getting up and beating the count. Though he was on shaky legs, it was still like, it was 3 seconds left. And many people feel he had won that fight for the whole of the night, up until that one last round. But that loss didn't hurt his legacy. It bolstered it because, my gosh, you were robbed of what potentially should have been a great victory for you, and you performed so great against one of the greatest of all time. Wins and losses don't mean everything about the fighter. It is what you do. It's what you do in the fight as well. Your performance helps bolster what the meaning of whatever the outcome is of the fight, but it's also who the opposition is. And that further sends a almost cemetery effect, or like a solidifying effect. That's where that helps to solidify all the other work you've done, which is why it's wonderful, but which is also why these fights need to happen. And that's why we can't have Canelo without David Benavidez. We can't. Especially now, because the only person that it hurts is Canelo. Let's be real. With everything that he's accomplished in his career, At this point in time, if he retired today, if Canelo Alvarez retired today, what would be his biggest, what would be the biggest talking point about his career? What would it be? I'm asking you because I want to hear your thoughts, and I'll give you what my thoughts are. But what would his biggest talking point of his career be if Canelo Alvarez said, I'm done, I retired today? What would it be? Would it be that you retired before you fought Crawford? Huh? Would it be the championships that you won? Would it be all of the accolades you accomplished? Would it be the loss to Bebo? Would it be the win over Kovalev? Would it be the loss to Floyd? Would it be the domination of 168 that you win in Garner? Would it be the trilogy that you had with Gennady Golovkin? All of which are, again, valid and great points in your career. But if he retired today, the biggest point of emphasis in his career would be you didn't fight David Benavidez. I guarantee you. I promise you. I promise you. We can talk about Tyson all we want about how if him losing to the greats of his era. Again, with context I've gone through as to why. But still, he fought them. We can talk about Floyd and say how he should have, in some cases, 2 losses on his resume. But he fought them. Ali, he has lost. He lost to Joe Frazier. He lost to Ken Norton. He beat George Foreman. But he fought them all. Joe Frazier, he fought them all. James Toney, he fought them all. He ain't win them all, but he fought them all. Roy, he lost to Tarver. But guess what? He fought every single person. He is not just fighter of the decade. He is, in my opinion, outside of Sugar Ray Robinson, the greatest raw talent that boxing has ever seen in the sport. No question about it. Outside of Sugar Ray. There's no question. None in my mind. That's his legacy because he fought everybody to solidify what his greatness was. With Canelo, if you don't fight them, that's problematic. That's going to hurt. That's gonna sting. I would be saying the same thing about Tyson Fury if Tyson Fury hadn't fought Usyk, but he finally fought him. It was going to be the same thing with Anthony Joshua before that fight went to pop because everybody just kept on losing. And they kept on pushing that fight back. Understandable. But Fury's real magnum opus became fighting Usyk because that's it. That is the biggest threat to you, and he is the most viable and in his prime. Where are you going to get that smoke? And when is it going to happen? And I don't, even if it was forced because of money, because he finally got the abhorrently big payday that he wanted. He still, after doing the runaround, after going through and making it so that he was changing the rules of engagement at the negotiation table, Usyk kept agreeing, Tyson Fury kept changing, Usyk kept agreeing, Fury kept changing, and then Fury just walked away. After all that, he still fought the brother twice. We can hate the runaround. He did it at minimum. Every single fighter has that one defining opponent that you need to fight. You have to. It's been throughout history. Whether it's Henry Greb, whether it's Henry Armstrong, Floyd Patterson, Muhammad Ali, Sonny Liston, it doesn't matter. Go through the litmus test. It does not matter. There is always one fighter that everybody in their minds sees as you. I don't care what happens in your career at this elite level. You need to fight this one guy over everybody else. Every other fight, if it doesn't get made, fine. This one, it must. Every other fight can potentially go by the wayside and we'll hate it, but it'll at least be forgivable or at least be, you know, it won't sting as much as long as this one fight gets made with this one guy or woman, whichever person it is, for women's boxing and men's boxing. There's one opponent, and then you face off against him. That's the biggest thing that we need. That is not negotiable. That is, with your greatness, that's not negotiable. That's what we're saying with Canelo. His greatness, it's set in stone, absolutely. But the one op that you need to fight that is not negotiable, he is negotiating himself out of that fight. And it's a shame. It really is a shame. And he is hurting himself. Mind you, if Benavidez doesn't get the fight, Benavidez will be fine. Understand that. Benavidez will be okay. Because it's understood that Canelo has been the man to stop the progress of that fight actively being made. We understand that. We all recognize that. Just like with Fury and Usyk, it is Canelo's fault that this fight is not happening. That is not up for debate. Because we can go through the timeline. We've gone through the timeline. This is not me trying to pick a side and just be egregious. This is real. This is the truth. This brother has been continually not making this, he's been not been doing his part. And because he ain't doing his part, that's why this fight ain't happening. If he was, this wouldn't be an issue. It wouldn't be a problem. It wouldn't be a problem at all. But because you are the cause of the strife of this fight not taking place, you are the one that's going to be held accountable. And you're going to be the one that we're going to look back to and say, your career is incomplete without this guy. Even with all this other stuff that you've done, which we can't take away and we won't take away. But this one fight, you did not want to happen. And you, essentially, the story's going to be you ran. Benavidez couldn't get it. And you couldn't give it to him. And so it became problematic. Next thing you know, the legacy is like I've been saying before. Just like with Tank. Canelo's legacy is going to be put at a cap. There is a zenith that it can't reach without David Benavidez. That is the biggest thing. And again, we're gonna talk about Canelo Alvarez, absolutely. We're gonna talk about Canelo. We're gonna talk about Crawford. We got it in the description. We ain't forgotten it. No, we have not forgotten it. However, we also aren't gonna sit here and gloss over what is the reality of this whole debacle when it comes to the likes of this drama with Canelo and Benavidez. Beating Terrence Crawford is phenomenal. Absolutely. That is still not going to be the it thing that we're going to have as this is the memorable stamp that, again, solidifies everything else. Not saying that Canelo's resume needs to be solidified, but like I said earlier, every fighter has a fight that is the fight that helps, that essentially is the cornerstone. That is the nexus of it. Every fight has one fight that is like that is the what was it that they say in Marvel? Dang it, it's on Loki. Shoot. It's a canon event. That's the one I'm thinking of. It does the answer. Every fighter has a fight where that is a canon event. Every great fighter has one fight that is the canon event for their career. That is the one. That is the point in their career that cannot be expunged. And you need it. With Canelo, that's Benavidez. And we just want that to happen. That's all we're saying. That's all we're saying. Also, Stavi. Hey, what's good with you? How you doing? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in to the show. Glad that you're here. If you're just tuning in, please leave a like on the stream. Go ahead. Keep on commenting in the chat. Again, this is the 4th of July special show. Again, we do a show every Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Now we're doing it. I knew it was a holiday. We're still going to do it today, regardless of which. But, hey, I'm glad that you're here. Go ahead and leave a like. Go ahead and comment. Share the show. Subscribe if you haven't already. And if you want to get to the show, we got memes. We got a lot of memes. Cash App, PayPal, links in the description if you want to support the show. We ain't got monetization yet. We're less than 100 hours away. So, hey, we're still moving on up. We're still getting, if we get more people in the chat, if we get more people watching, we might be able to hit that thing today. Absolutely. We can make it happen. So please keep on sharing. Keep on telling people what's up. Keep on engaging. We love this. I love this conversation. I love doing this with you all. Absolutely. But let me see what you got to say, Stabby. Yard first 5-6 rounds will be impressive, I think. But as those muscle fatigue, I got Benavidez with a 9th round stoppage. This is interesting. This is interesting because I'm gonna ask you this. What type of yard do you think we're gonna get in this fight? If it's because that's what has me a little bit concerned. If it's the yard that showed up against Artur Beterbiev, Benavidez is about to have himself a time and a half when it comes to taking out the likes of Anthony Yard. Oh yes, he is. If it's that yard, we got ourselves a war. We do. But if it's not that yard, though, again, he's won every fight since his loss to Artur Beterbiev. They have, from what I can tell from the public, it's waned in its impressiveness. Not just because of the names that he's fighting against, but, again, outside of Lyndon Arthur, because Lyndon Arthur, hey, good guy. A good fighter. Not great, but good, like I said yesterday. But regardless of which, there's been an ebb and flow of sorts. Now, again, I covered this yesterday also. There's an ebb and flow of greatness between Yard and his production at times since his fight with Beterbiev. Because I don't know what type of Yard we're going to get, and what I recently learned with how he essentially trains himself, or his trainer is not a great trainer in helping him to adapt and evolve. I'm very scared. I'm very scared. And you're right. The production, the muscles that he's got, he can't fatigue. He can't gas out. We have seen it. Absolutely. But even beyond that, there's a concern that him, just as a fighter, has not progressed. Let me see. Yard went 11 rounds with Kovalev and 8 with Artur Beterbiev. I don't think Yard can stay behind a jab all fight and back foot. He'll tire out. That's the concern. That's the big. And in fact, let me see. Hold on. That Kovalev fight. Let me see. Hold on. I had a thought with dang it. What was that thing? Shoot. Let me pull it up. Hold on. Give me a second. Hold on. Wait a minute. Wait 1 minute. Wait a second. Wait a minute. Wait 1 minute. Hold on. I'm coming. I'm moving through. Oh yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. So, actually, I didn't notice he lost to Lyndon Arthur. More so in Lyndon Arthur's prime earlier in his career, before he beat him the second time round. But no, Kovalev knocked him out in 11 rounds. And Beterbiev knocked him out in 8. And he lost a split decision. There's how do we say this? And mind you, this was an old Kovalev also. Don't forget that. This was an older Kovalev who, I think shortly after that, he was going to fight the likes of Canelo. And we all know what happened when he fought Canelo. But regardless of which, the thing with Anthony Yard, more than just stamina and fatigue, which is real. I don't see the same level of improvement from these big fights that I should see from him in his development as a young fighter. That's my thing. And see, it's odd Benavidez said he wasn't going to fight in Saudi, and now he is. I'm glad he has to. I'm glad though he has to get on board. And again, I think like with Benavidez, it's always, again, I'm not trying to make excuses. Again, I'm not trying to go and like defend nobody or anything like that. That's not what we do. Just objectively, Benavidez has always been going through what's the best way to get the biggest fight I can get. Not from the standpoint of just trying to hold out for money, but like legitimately give me the challenges so I can fight the best competition available. And this is the means to do so. And so it's not as surprising to me because with how I've seen Benavidez work throughout his entire career, but he'll do what he's got to do to get where he needs to go. He will. Now, I don't know exactly why he doesn't want to go to Saudi Arabia. If it's because of judging, I don't see that as a major issue because on most of the cards, even with the guys that Turkey wants to win, if they lose, they lose. And more often than people may have expected, the people that you would assume would just get the benefit of the doubt didn't get the benefit of the doubt when they fought over there. And so relatively, it's been, from a standpoint of fair judging, it's not been nearly as bad as we've seen in the likes of Australia or even here in the States or in other parts of Europe. Again, not trying to cast aspersions on those places, but just going off a track record of the short track record that we've seen with the likes of Riyadh season under Turki Al-Sheikh. From a standpoint of you getting a fair shake, if that's what's holding you from wanting to do it, I don't really see why that would be an issue if we recognize that every time they fight over there, the person who deserved the win got the win more often than not. And a close fight in almost every instance was a close fight, but it wasn't a terrible, egregious sense. And again, the specifics of why, I don't know. I can only infer. If you know, hey, please feel free to tell me, absolutely. But if it's not that, that's the only reason I could even think of. But again, I don't think it's valid because of the track record that we've seen. So I'm like, I don't get it. Honestly, and again, I'm being real. From an outside perspective, I completely understand. And again, not trying to ride for anybody. I don't got skin in the game. I ain't getting paid for nothing. This is just me observing the public and observing what's going on throughout this whole endeavor. Most people that have said they don't want to work with Turkey or Riyadh season, or there's something shady or sketchy, or all this stuff working with Turki Al-Sheikh, all of them end up working with the brother. All of them do. And every time they do, everything seems to be going clean. And all these previous dispersions about it, all these previous things of, seedy, underhanded stuff. You can't trust them. You can't do this, that, and third. This brother doesn't look out for the interests. People ain't getting paid. This, that, and blah, 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 all this stuff. All of a sudden, all of that goes away. And it's almost like you never said it in the first place. And if it was happening, it would continue to get exposed. But most of the biggest detractors are working with them. And they're on the inside. And they're not pushed or forced to silence, from what I can tell. It ain't like they're having their hands tied to have to say, you can't say anything. But like it's like, oh, all of this wasn't actually happening. And I'm making good money. So I don't get the ire per se. To me, it doesn't really make any sense. Again, that's my opinion. And 2025 is the Turkey way. Get down or lay down. And I'm like, it's again, I'm speaking from what I can see. It's like it almost seems like he's creating a dominating force in boxing. Absolutely. However, he's doing it in a way that we all said as fans, we want to see consistency of this type of matchmaking. and this type of big fights on a constant basis, and you being tested against folks that, hey, you can't just say what you are. You got to put up or shut up. He's doing it. I think Max Kellerman said it best. If we could play with all the money in the world and we could just put together fights whenever we wanted to, how would we do it? He's got that power, and he's doing it in a way that we're like, yeah, that fight makes sense. Yes, that's the fight we want to see. Canelo and Crawford, forget just talking about it. It's been ruminating long enough. Can we make it happen or not? Okay, we're making it happen. Undisputed fights, heavyweight undisputed fights, light heavyweight undisputed fights. Schofield versus Tevin Farmer. Potentially now Schofield versus Shakur Stevenson. Schofield versus Tank, hypothetically. All these fights now are no longer just pipe dreams, and we consistently have to wait and wait and wait and wait and wait. We're actually getting it. And so it's like, what do you think of Kid Austin versus Abdullah sparring footage being released? I just saw it. It's not like how Kid Austin possibly. No, it ain't. Oh my gosh. No, it's not. No, no, it ain't at all. Oh shoot. It is not like that at all. When I watch this, in fact, let me give me a second. Let me get a drink, and I can pull it up for you. Oh, sorry, I didn't want you to hear me coughing. Oh gosh, I went down the wrong pipe. But no, let me see if I can pull that sparring footage for you, so we can talk through it. Cause it's not how we explained it at all. No question about it. Let me see, Aaron, Yard getting stopped. I don't think he's getting stopped. He's getting beat. I don't think he's getting stopped though. I don't think Benavidez is gonna be stopping people like he used to. I think those days are gone. But he is gonna beat him. I promise you that. He's going to beat him. I think he's going to beat him by unanimous decision. If it's the Yard that we've seen of the last couple fights. Not the Yard that came in better be it, but still. Decision, I got. I don't think he's getting stopped, though, because I don't think he's got that power at this weight class to be able to stop folks like he used to be. He's a better fighter at light heavyweight than he ever was at super middle, at least in my estimation. But let me see. Yo, JD, Johnny Durag. Hey, brother, what's going on with you? How you doing? Good to see you. Thanks for the show. Justice Kemp, what's good with you, my brother? How you doing? Good to see you. Glad that you're here. Y'all coming right on time. Again, this is the championship rounds. For those of you who are just tuning into the show, you can talk about anything and everything. The whole show. You all can drive the conversation. It's a 4th of July show. Some people celebrating, some people grilling. So we're going to have a show and help you entertain the masses. Whatever you want to talk about and discuss in or outside of boxing, in or outside of sports, we can make it happen right here, right now. So, hey, put your comments in the chat. Put your stuff in the conversation. Let's see what you got to say. No question about it. But let me see what you all got to say right now with Johnny. Boxing is turning into a laughingstock. Jake Paul is one of the best ranked. Jake Paul is one of the best ranked boxers. Yeah, well, no. See, that's a bold-faced lie. That's a bold-faced lie. Jake Paul is ranked 14th in the world. That's true. Now we do hate that. We despise it. Absolutely. Oh, it's that is terrible. That's absolutely horrible. But at the same time, we know what he's about. We've covered this before. And again, real quick, I see you, Stabby, I see you commenting. And Justice Kim, I see you too. Give me 1 second, but let me explain. We have covered what Jake Paul has been doing. This is part of the plan that Jake Paul is trying to do. Ride the hate train just like Floyd did. Knock people out that should beat him, but don't beat him. Then get to a point where now you eke up your competition just to where it seems like, oh, you're fighting real comp when you're really not. Further drive the hate train. Fight some legends that are old, beat them. Get Mike Tyson, beat him. And just have that on your resume. And show how much money you can bring in, though that fight wasn't competitive. And then, ultimately, the fight that you want is with Tank or Canelo, at best both. And then you retire. He's coming to an end with this train. He is. especially now that he's ranked, because now he's pigeonholed more so now. You can't just do whatever you want no more now. You ranked. If you want to really be about what you're going to be about, if you don't get that fight with Canelo, which again, none of those fights should happen. The only actual viable road that would be like, okay, you're here, let's see what you got, would be fighting at cruiserweight for a title. Which again, at least fight Vidal Ridley, who is ranked top 10 at cruiserweight, who actually turned from a YouTuber to a legitimate boxer, and has gotten a is it a regional belt, or is it it's either a regional belt or an interim belt? But you can fight him. And then if because of how we know the business of boxing works, fight Zurdo Ramirez or Badu Jack. Because people keep saying stupidly that Badu Jack is the weakest champion of the whole lot at cruiserweight, but Badu Jack will kill you worse than Zurdo. Zurdo will outbox you and then end you. Badu Jack will just end you. This brother is the immortal wonder. He's 42 years old and can't nobody stop this brother. Every time I see him on a card, he's just popping up and winning a title. Is it his fourth weight class now? It's insane. It's insane. But yeah, don't, like I said on the last show, don't let Badu Jack fight Jake Paul. If you think that's going to be a fight that Jake Paul could actually win, Jake Paul will die worse than he would against Zurdo. And Zurdo is a better fighter. But the way Zurdo fights, it will be more so, he'll be willing just to toy with Jake for a little bit. Badu won't play that. No, Badu will kill him. Badu will kill him quick. He will attempt to kill him quick, absolutely. But no, we got real boxers in the sport. We got Inoue. We got Schofield. We got Abdullah Mason. We got Usyk. We got Daniel Dubois. We got Moses Atama. We got Junto Nakatani. We got Tanaka. We got Kobati that was on the same card. We got Brian Norman Jr. We got Devin Haney. We got Rolando Romero, who's made a resurgence back into the sport of getting a belt back. We still got Isaac Cruz. We got Dave Benavidez. We have a litany of stars. Canelo, Terrence, Errol Spence, who's going to come back at some point in time. Tyson Fury, who's coming back to boxing now. We still got an entertaining fighter in Anthony Joshua, though he's, again, declined in his career. We got a ton of talent. Ben Rodriguez, great. Tajiri over in Japan. There's so many people. I'm telling you, this is, boxing is coming back. And it's coming back quicker than anybody expects. And it's great. Bivol Benavidez in the mix as well. Anthony Yard, who's getting ready to fight him. It's David Morrell. We have a lot of fighters, absolutely. You may not know them. Fine. Take some time, and I promise you, you'll see that we got some great talent. Abdullah looks smooth. Didn't see excuse me. It didn't see what kid did. He was getting tired. In fact, I can pull that up right now. Actually, give me a second. Let me pull it up right now. Is this it? I think I got it. I should have that video saved. I should anyway. Here we go. Yep. I got it. Yeah, I think I can show it. I think, yeah, it's on Twitter. So yeah, I can show it, absolutely. Also, hold on, Roman Vasquez, wait a minute, how you doing? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning into the show. So glad that you are here with us on this 4th of July celebration. Or if you're celebrating, cook out on the grill, celebrate, do all that stuff. If you're hot, please cool down. Wear some sunscreen. Be safe. Please be safe. And thank you for listening to us on the show. Yard is the best opponent Benavidez can get right now. No question about it. Absolutely. Anthony Yard is the best op that Benavidez can get right now. Now, the other one was Callum Smith. And we all thought that was going to be the fight that was going to happen next. We did. I'll be real. I was more so expecting Callum Smith off the back to what he did against Joshua Buatsi. I thought that was going to be the fight that gets made next. And I was excited for that fight. But this fight, this ain't bad either. This is going to be a great A great test for Benavidez. And this, again, if it's the yard that showed up, against Artur Beterbiev, then this would definitively be his best opponent he's had since moving up to 175 at light heavyweight. If it's that yard, then this is going to be the best op Benavidez has had since moving up to light heavyweight. If not, it's going to be an easy win. But if it's that quality yard, oh yeah, he's going to give him some trouble. He's going to give him some real trouble, absolutely. Let me see. How crazy is it that Jake beat Chavez Jr., a guy who lost to Anderson Silva, and after the fight, he got deported? I'm in shock. Brother, we covered this at the start of the show. we talked about this at the start of the show. So if you want to see that reaction, you can go and rewind it just a little bit. Or not a little. Rewind it to the first hour of this show. You can see exactly what we were saying. Because, oh my gosh. If they knew all of this stuff before, he wouldn't have made it to the fight. Again, I don't know all the details. Some stuff seems sketchy, especially with how ICE normally operates in this country right now. And a lot of the liberties that they go with trying to enforce their policies on people that are actually not undocumented. When they've been abducting actual legal people left, right, and center. Or people that are actually getting in the process of getting their visas. Or people that are in the system right now. It's like, it's ridiculous. The criminals, it's everybody. They targeting the citizens now next. Legitimately, they are. But again, that's a whole other conversation. But no, it's crazy. It's insane. I noticed Silva wasn't ranked after he beat... Hey,
look at this. We got the problems here. We got the problems here.
You hit the nail on the head. Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. A better version of Chavez, a younger version of Chavez, gets beat by Silva, and Silva doesn't get ranked. But Jake Paul does. Fighting somebody moving up. Mind you, not a natural cruiserweight, not a ranked cruiserweight. A brother who routinely fought at 160, who ballooned up to 190 to be able to fight Jake Paul at this weight class. Problematic. Like I said, the business of boxing is incredibly corrupt. But I am telling you now, once he loses, this run is over. He could recover from Tyson Fury. Now, at this stage, a loss is it. At this stage in his career, one loss and he's done. And he's only going to be chancing a loss against the likes of a Canelo or a Tank. He calls out he called out Zurdo Ramirez. He won't actually fight him. He got a shot at the title from both Artur Beterbiev and from Daniel Dubois after he beat Mike Tyson. They both DM'd him. Hey, I will give you a title shot. Both of them did. And he didn't answer a reply. And he didn't take him up on the offer. He is never going to fight the actual comp up until it is the Canelos or the Tanks. And then he's going to quit. Because he just wants to get the biggest payday. And do what everybody said he wouldn't be able to do. Go through and I fought the face of boxing when y'all said I was a bum. Look at me now, and then walk off into the sunset with his millions and a butt whooping, but with his millions more so than anything. I beat the odds. I guarantee you that's what he's trying to do. He's already doing it with this stupid campaign of trying to, if you're a kid and you don't believe anything, trust me, believe in yourself and you can make it happen. Brother, all of this is ingenuous slop. None of that's real. None of that is legitimate. None of that is valid. Because he's been moving like a scumbag ever since he got into the social media space. Him and his brother. I've watched the rise and fall and the rise again. I know the entire story. All of this stuff is just it is good in practice. I'm not saying he doesn't do good stuff. What he's done for women's boxing, some of the stuff these programs he's done for kids, it's all good. I ain't knocking that. But that doesn't mean that the root cause of what this all actually is nothing but a farce and a sham and a scam. Like he's actually scammed people with crypto and other things. It's been a full-blown debacle of mess and debauchery. That's what Jake Paul is. Don't let all of this pick yourself up by your bootstraps type of talk fool you. It ain't like that. This brother has been 5 years of the best facilities money can buy. And he won't fight folks that are ranked that ain't got nothing but a home gym. He won't fight them because he knows he'll lose. He looked like a bum in this fight. After the first 5 rounds, but everything that was good in that improvement went away. And he looked just like he used to look. Slow, sluggish, telegraphing punches. Can't keep his guard up. Can't move his feet. Can't handle pressure. Is not able to go and fight. He shows some heart in trying to fight out. But brother, you give somebody who knows what he's doing, he's going to sleep. Tell him to cut that non-regulation beard as well. The brother's going night-night. He keeps that beard because it's an added layer of protection. Teddy Atlas talked about this too. Cut that big beard of his. That's not legal. That's not supposed to be allowed. Even Canelo don't wear a beard like that. That's not right. This is the problem. But he gets away with it. You know why? Because he brings in money. But once he loses at this stage in his career, once he's done and he gets beat, gets knocked out, he is not fighting again. Because the facade is gone, the intrigue is gone, and the money goes as well. That's what's going on. He won't get another fight on Netflix when he loses. Won't get another fight on Netflix. All talks of championship aspirations go down the gutter. His fan base goes away. His haters go away because they're like, okay, you lost. And the only way he can actually get that back is if he fought against people that were actually competitive. I am talking about amateurs for 10 years plus who's been in this sport and they are looking to get themselves into a real title contending status. He will legitimately have to fight like a journeyman. If you want to even have a chance at this on a big stage to show us your star power, beat Jake Paul, and then you'll be good to go. He'll be an expensive journeyman. And if he can fight his way out of that, okay, we got ourselves something. But once he loses, that's all he's going to be able to be relegated to. An expensive journeyman. An expensive gatekeeper. And it's going to be great. And hopefully, it happens sooner rather than later. Hopefully it happens sooner rather than later. My gosh. But it's like, and also, Justin, I don't know what this means. You might be watching a show and it might have picked up with some of these computers some of these things got voice what's it called? Talk on it. What's it called? The thing where you can talk. Voice recognition. That's what it was. So you might be watching the show. It might be that might be typing. Hypothetical. Or you could be just typing. And hey, I'm always open with you typing. So absolutely. It's good to see you. And I'm glad to hear. Absolutely. Keep on typing. No, keep on typing away. We love it. We love it. Absolutely, we love it. But again, let me keep on reading what you all got to say. Sounds like Callum priced himself out of the Benavidez. Is that what happened? Oh, wait a minute. Oh, is that what happened? Oh, that's news to me. Oh my gosh. I did not know that. I did not know that at all. I was completely unaware. I thought the talks just fell through. I didn't know that he priced himself out. Man, hey, shoot. I did not know that. My gosh. Thank you for telling me. So that explains why we're getting Anthony Yarden. It's still a good fight. I wish it would have been Callum Smith, I ain't gonna lie, but it's still a good fight. No question. But let me go into the whole picture. Hold on, wait, hold on, wait a minute. Wait a second before I do that. Let me make sure it's right. Let me make sure it's right. Let me make sure that it's pulling up like it's supposed to. No, not that one. Not that one. Where's it? Hold on. Everybody, stay put. Everybody stay here. Keep on liking if you haven't already. If you want to give to the show, again, please give to the show. We have it right here. And we got means to support while we're eking up to getting super chats and the like coming in. And please share the show. Please do. We've had a phenomenal conversation. We want more people in it. Text people to come in. Text people to join in. Put it on your television. I don't care where. Put it in your homes while you're cooking. Let them see what we got to offer. I want to hear from you all. Let the masses see what we're doing on this 4th of July weekend. Absolutely. But as we're talking through, we said we were going to show you the Abdullah Mason picture. So let's do it right now. Here is the sparring footage of Abdullah Mason versus Floyd Schofield. Now, I might skip around, and I'm probably gonna stop and start going through as we're talking through it. But this is what happened.
Yup, leave it out there.
As you can see. Now you better worry. See, and boom, got caught. Now again, I can't remember how long ago this sparring session was. Good straight left to the body by Mason. And it's like right now, Mason, look. Good shot by Schofield, but good defense by Mason to be able to get out of the way.
Huh?
And also, notice, Mason keeps having Schofield backing up. Something that Tevin Farmer wasn't able to do. Good check hook by Abdullah Mason. Every time. See, this is the thing. Tevin Farmer was lax in his defensive ability. Good straight left. Again, another check hook. See, he keeps catching them when he comes in on the inside.
Leave it out there like that.
That's the thing. And right now, this is just domination on the side of Schofield.
Ali. You see him?
See, hey, wait, hold on, wait a minute. Rewind that.
Yeah, put your straight ones together.
Keep it out there.
Backing him up.
Nice recovery, bro.
Was that it? Hold on, that's 54? I might have 54, hold on.
See him?
Wait a minute. Right there, right, you see that? Ladies and gentlemen, where's my screen? You see that? You see that right there? You see that right there? Did you see? And I'm about to go back. We're going in and out with this. But did you see what I'm talking about? When we say fight out of the clinch, that is what I mean. Escaping. When they release, you attack. Because nobody, for some odd reason, nobody, not even most of the elites, take advantage of when you are trying to escape from the clinch. You hit them on their way out. Catch them on the way out. Whether it's an uppercut, whether it's a straight right, whether it's a hook to the body or to the head. I don't care where. But you got an opening where they are extending, trying to get you off of them. You got a free shot to take something if you just throw. This is the maturity that I'm talking about with Abdullah Mason that I've said in the past, which is why this brother is so special. It's why he's so special. But again, just wanted to point that out real quick. Now we go back to the sparring. Right here, right now.
You see him?
Oh, look at that. And if that was an actual fight, he would have been rocked.
Keep it out there.
And again, he's on the back
Nice
foot.
recovery, bro.
Keep that stick
He
out
can't
there.
get any forward momentum.
There you go.
And he can't react the same way. Good, great X-block by Abdullah Mason.
Beautiful. That's what they do.
Another straight left they got through. Good offense by Kid Austin, but again,
Ooh.
and set him back up immediately.
Put your combinations together. Head movement. Good. Take away that jab like you do. You got it. Keep fresh. Tight.
I mean, this is just great work. Again, I don't know how far out this sparring was.
Come on with your hands up, man. We all break.
But at this point in time, this is impressive. Another, I get, brother. Look, that left hand is just killing.
Beautiful.
Every time you go to the angle, switch forward.
Poke off the jab straight left.
That jab. You're doing good. Breathe.
Poke off that jab. Beautiful.
And notice, Abdullah Mason is consistently.
There you go.
Another check, good right hand by Schofield, though, but that was a good check hook by Mason. But consistently, Abdullah's never letting Schofield walk forward. Consistently, he's never letting Schofield walk forward. Every time Schofield tries to walk forward or do something offensive, it feels like it's out of desperation rather than control. He's trying to force his way back into, okay, I'm in control of this fight. I have a level of ground that I can protect. But every single time, as you're about to see right here, it gets taken away. And it's further back into Mason is just able to essentially dictate what goes on in the ring.
Get low.
Nice. Ali.
Keep it out there, champ.
30 seconds.
Let me get some of that body now.
Again, still, just, and almost, again, good shot to the body.
There you go. See?
What do you do?
Got it. Good body shot. Beautiful.
And then watch, good frame, you get your lead hand free, you're controlling, he's
Beautiful.
trying to use his strength.
Go to his back. Stay low.
Beautiful.
Then that would have been a knockdown.
Oh, nice, coach.
And yeah, shoot, that's that. I mean, brother, what the world? Wait a minute.
Beautiful.
Caught him with a check hook, dropped him. Caught him with a body shot and rocked him.
Oh, nice, coach. Nice. All right, stay calm, relax.
10 seconds.
That's insane.
Bad comments. Don't wait for another second. Use that power. Keep on trying.
He won 2 by Schofield. But I like, brother, and again, I don't mean to beat a dead horse, but
You see him?
this right here, this is the biggest instance of maturity and skill level. Even with what we saw with Tevin Farmer versus Schofield right now, which again was a great win. This is what I mean when I say that Schofield's a bigger threat now because beating Tevin Farmer validated some things I didn't think he had. But Tevin Farmer also wasn't doing things that we're seeing Abdullah Mason do. He wasn't. In some cases, he never has in his career. He's still a great fighter. But we can't deny that the defensive flaws was because he would be willing to go with his hands down way too much as a defensive fighter and rely on head movement. He's got some great head movement, absolutely, but vulnerable. So we can't deny that. Now you're going against Abdullah Mason, who is able to block and catch while also moving his head. And he's able to also, while being defensively responsible, capitalize on every opening possible. Like this.
You see him?
Just like that. I mean, it's like you stuff like that. You can teach that. You can. But the issue is most of the time people don't. And for a lot of people, those types of instincts, if you aren't taught that, you gotta have it. Now I don't know if Mason's camp teaches to fight out of clinch or something, or to take advantage of the small openings once you're in, on the inside. But I do know that, brother, he's using it. And he uses it so effectively that it's that right there is one of the biggest instances of championship level fighting. Just that one inkling alone. Because David Benavidez does that on multiple occasions. Joe Frazier used to do that all the time when he was fighting against all opposition in his way. Because he was always looking not just to do punishment, but to never let you rest. Abdul's got that same thing, and I mean it's great. It's incredible. But let me see. Mason is cooking. Yeah, no, Mason. That was a whole round of just. That would have been multiple knockdowns. I'm being completely honest. And let's see, Kid Austin Pops. I'm sure will say that this cherry pick highlights, but that was an entire round of unedited clips that only I stopped and started and rewound just to show pinpoints of the greatness of what Abdullah Mason was doing. But he can't say that because this is just, that's true. That's a bad brother. That's a bad brother. I'm telling you, and yep, it's all you can say is he's the truth. All you can say is Abdullah Mason. This cat, this man is something special. This man is something so special. The biggest concern is potentially his chin, because we've seen him get caught before against lesser fighters. But everything else about him is great. His length, his speed, his instincts, his willingness to take advantage of openings on the inside, his effectiveness at continuing to be able to walk you down and box. Not just walk you down and be aggressive, but box with you while he's moving forward. The things that we talked about with other great fighters of taking away or stripping away aspects of what your game is and what you are as a fighter, making it obsolete. We just saw it in that clip multiple times against Floyd Schofield. Now again, like I said, full disclaimer, I don't have the exact date of when this sparring match happened. Touche. Understandable. So I'm not going to say this is current. I'm not going to say this is relevant. I'm not going to say that this is exactly what's going to happen. Excuse me. This is exactly what's going to happen if we see Schofield and Mason fight against each other, especially off the backs of what we saw Schofield do to Tevin Farmer. I'm not saying that because, again, I don't know the date of the sparring video. But what I am saying is that this is a apparent showing of, at minimum, what we know about Abdullah Mason when it comes to a forward-thinking fighter. More so, a thought-provoking fighter. A fighter that, when he goes about his business, it's not like everybody else in the division. It's not. There is I don't want to overuse the term, but there's a poise of, in every fight, is as if I've been here before. Not just in the sense of he's calm, cool, and collected, but he moves in a way, he fights in a way, he anticipates in a way where it's as if he's already fought you before and he already knows what to do. Again, he had Schofield backing up for this entire clip. Had him backing up the entire time, not just because, he was punching him or beating him. It's because he wasn't allowing Schofield to be able to fight on the front foot. And it took Schofield essentially jumping in with reckless abandon to get some level of success. And every time he did, he got countered. He got dropped. He got dropped. He got stumbled to the body. He got check hooked to the head. He got landed on with straight right while coming in on the inside, adding momentum to the force of the punch and making it even more detrimental. He was so reckless that it was almost easy. He landed some good shots, yes he did. In terms of Schofield, yes he did. But he couldn't go to that well again nearly as much because Mason didn't let it happen. On top of the fact that once he did get on the inside, Schofield kept trying to use his strength to bully and muscle Abdullah Mason where he wanted him to go, but it wasn't working. Though Schofield is physically stronger, yeah, he is. But he couldn't use that strength with the same level of propensity. Propensity. Am I saying that right? We'll say effectiveness for now. He couldn't use. Am I saying that correct? Is it? Hold on. Wait a minute. Let me make sure I'm saying this right. Propensity. Yep, that's the word. Propensity. He couldn't use it with the same propensity. Propensity. Good gosh, I don't know what's wrong with me. I am a walking dictionary. I should not have this struggle saying this one. You know, it's probably propensity. There it is. Okay, yeah, there we go. Propensity. He couldn't use it with the same level of propensity, of effectiveness, of legitimate consistency due to the constant inability to capitalize on, okay, you got him on the ropes. Now what you going to do? Abdullah never let his hands be able to go to a leverage situation to where Schofield could throw effective shots to the head. It was just those rabbit punches downstairs. Or those shots where it's like slapping shots upside the head, but not like any effective stuff. Then he would frame out and then further walk you back to the center of the ring and walk you back to the ropes. That's what he did in the clip. It's impressive. It's very impressive. He's the real deal, man. I'm telling you, Schofield is the real deal. This man, he ain't nothing to play with. He ain't nothing to play with at all. And that's why I'm so excited that he's going to be in this division. I'm telling you this right now. I am really interested. If sooner rather than later, if we see Tank beat Lamont Roach, I am extremely interested in seeing Tank fight against Abdullah Mason. I am incredibly interested. It is part of my prerogative to see that fight take place, because that fight is a fight that I don't care who you are. Brother, You can't look at Abdullah Mason as just a ho-hum, whatever young fighter anymore. You can't. Along with the division catching up to the talent pool of very dangerous opponents that we wanted, that it used to be with the likes of Devin, Tio, Lomachenko, Shakur, all were at the division. Same time, brother, we're seeing people are starting to separate themselves. Abdullah Mason being one of them. Abdullah versus Tank is a fight that people may say that, oh, Abdullah ain't ready. I think he's closer to being ready than you think. I do. I really do. I think Abdullah Mason as a champion, as a fighter, I think he's closer to being ready for that fight than you think. Now, I'm not saying like, okay, give him to him next. No, I'm not saying that. But in about, give it 2 years. Give it 2 years. And with Tank saying he wants to stay in the sport for longer, now after this fight with Lamont Welch, I'm telling you, you better watch out. You better watch out. I ain't trying just to be hyper. I ain't trying just to be, a hype train fanatic. I'm not trying just to buy into stuff willy-nilly. But I'm telling you right now, this brother against Tank is not somebody to be trifled with. This ain't just some Joe schmo. This ain't some young buck that just he ain't really ready for the big spotlight. I'm telling you this right now. This cat, quicker than you may expect, can be a dangerous opposition to the entirety of this, not just this division, but to the best. We're talking Shakur and Tank Davis. I'm so serious. Don't let him grow. Oh my gosh, wait a minute. I completely forgot. Don't let this brother grow.
Hey, look at this. We got some problems here. We got some problems here.
Don't let him get bigger. Don't let him get stronger. Don't let him mature. Don't let it be that this man's only reaching the bottom floor of what can be his zenith as a fighter, at least physically. Because with how he's looking now, he's already great. But if he gets bigger than this, if he gets more athletic than this, because again, how old is he? He's what? How old is Abdullah Mason? How old is he? Abdullah Mason, he's what, was he 20? 21? 21. He's 21 years old right now. This is the early stages of Abdullah Mason's career. Literally. This is literally the early stage of his career. For reference, Keyshawn Davis is 26. David Benavidez is 28. Shakur is 28. Schofield's 22. We're not just talking just to talk. We're saying Keyshawn Davis, again, with all the drama that happened with Keyshawn Davis, understand him. But Keyshawn just separated himself. Absolutely. Keyshawn Davis just separated himself. He just got in those conversations of, hey, Tank, you better watch out because he's there for you if you do ever get in the ring with him. But again, he's 26, 28 years old. Benavidez is just now getting that spotlight of, oh, this brother's for real. And we are excited to see what he's going to do now. And he's getting into the prime of his career. Understand, he's not even in his physical prime yet. He is 28, David Benavidez. At 30, what is it, 30, between 30 and 32, maybe 33. Shoot, if he's able to be like Terrence Crawford, he can go to 37. And that may be the whole of his prime, hypothetically. He's entering his prime as a fighter, as a person. Mason's looking like this at 21. Tank is 31. Tank is in the middle of his prime. And Tank, I dare say, in fact, I dare say, and some of y'all might be looking at me in shock and awe. I dare say, Tank, dare I say this? Shoot, before I say it, let me think. Hold on, wait a second, wait a minute. Hold on. Let me take a second. Hold on. Let me think. Before I say something that might be potentially volatile, let me think about it first. Hold on. Wait a minute. Wait 1 second. Yeah. I think I'm right. I had to have a quick dialogue with myself, trying to go through whether or not this opinion is valid or not. But I think it's valid. Tank Davis, I dare say, his prime ain't as long as we think it's going to be. And he might actually be declining quicker right now. And he may be at the end of his prime rather than just getting into his prime. I'm so serious. And this, I'm dead serious. I'm dead serious. Because again, I don't want to sound like I'm hating on Tank. I really don't. And again, before I continue, please, shameless plug, if you would, leave a like in the chat and share the show with everybody that you can. Because this is a great conversation. We love it. We cherish it. We can't wait to see it. And we want to continue to support and grow as a channel. We can't do it without you. So please, tune in, have a chat, have yourself a stay, and let's have a conversation absolutely. Because we want to hear from you. And hey, leave a like on the stream. Comment your thoughts and opinions in the chat down below. It's still the championship rounds. So whatever you want to discuss, you put it in the chat and we can bring it up and we can talk about it. Absolutely. The whole show's driven by you all, the fans. No question about it. But I dare say Tank is at the tail end of his prime. I really think that. I really do. He's only, 31, 32 years old. But the issue is with Tank, and I need to ask this. He's at a point in his career right now where he should be even still elevating as a fighter. He should. But has he elevated as a fighter? Has he? He's 30. He's 30 right now. Has he gotten better since Ryan Garcia? Has he gotten better? And again, I'm not trying to be hateful. I'm not trying to be spiteful. I'm asking a legitimate question. For Tank fans or people that watch Tank and all this stuff, when you watch Tank, within the past 2 years, has Tank gotten better as a fighter? Yes, he's had the same, he's knocked out, still knocking people out. Absolutely. He's doing what Tank does, no question. But that doesn't answer the question of has he gotten better as a fighter? Again, I referenced Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson was still knocking people out left, right, and center, but we were not saying he was a better fighter as his career went on and on and on past that early stage of winning a title. Again, once Customado died and a little bit after, that was the best version of Tyson that we ever seen. But then, as we know, Don King, letting lifestyle get to him, wasn't training the same way, wasn't using head movement the same way. The techniques that we had seen him be able to use in terms of the quality, head movement, footwork, intricate things that made his style so great, that wasn't the same. It wasn't. And even though he kept on winning, he even got the title back. He did. But he was not a better fighter, though physically he was in his prime. When we look at Tank Davis, is Tank Davis a better fighter than he was 2 years ago? Or is he the same and or slightly worse, in your opinion? Because right now, he's the same. For me. That's not bad. He's Tank. He's Tank. Lamont Roach found a way to mitigate what Tank normally does. Beautiful. Phenomenal. Doesn't change the thing. Tank still fought like Tank. It's just somebody was able to battle back with him. Great. One fight doesn't all of a sudden say you're a bum. Absolutely. No question. But at the same time, I've never sensed I've seen the talent, but I haven't seen an elevation in talent. It was always up here. Absolutely. But it hasn't fluctuated, or rather gone up. I'm not saying it's gone down, but it definitely ain't gone up. It's just been here. Now, with every other fighter I can talk about of this great pool of talent, we've seen them elevate from where they are, even when they're already at the top. Canelo, when he was at the top, he did improve. At this same age, he was getting better. When we look at, again, Terrence Crawford, he got better. He did get better. We saw a shift in his ability, even when he was already at the top of the mountain. Usyk, he got better. He did. He got better. From the AJ fight to the Fury fight, I can objectively say, yeah, he did get better. No matter how slight or how big that change may be, he did get better. Benavidez, objectively, has had some of the best improvement I've seen in boxing since his move up to light heavyweight. In his, what would be now his third fight at the division, he's gotten better. Shoot, I can say he got better since the fight with Bubu Andre. The last fight that he had at a super middleweight, he got better. I don't have that same conversation for Tank. In a way, I keep saying he keeps showing new wrinkles to his game every single time I watch him fight. It's a beautiful thing. He gets better every fight. Tank, I don't see that. I see the same skill level, which is elite, but I don't see any elevation. Now, I'm not trying to say that, he's a bump, or he's bad, or yep, the decline is coming. But I am saying we got to call it like we see it. There should be a level at 30, at your prime, at this stage in your career. I should be saying, oh man, this is the best we've ever seen him from an ability and talent standpoint. And I'm saying right now, I'm saying it's the same Tank I've seen for the past 2 years. That's not bad at all, but it's not what I expect to see from somebody who is this touted and this good from a talent standpoint. You should be showing us even more stuff because now you're in your prime. And I'm not seeing it. For me, I'm not seeing, or at least within that 2-year window, I haven't said that. I can at least say I've said that about Tank. I've said that about Terrence Crawford, excuse me. You may think that Terrence Crawford is no longer elevating. That's fine. You can't deny he did elevate at one point in time, and we were saying he got better. Within 2 years, there was one point in time, okay, yeah, he got better. Usyk, we can say he got better. David Benavidez, within the past 2 years, we can say he got better. Anyway, we can say he got better. Most of the fighters that we say at the top, we can say they got better. Daniel Dubois, within the last 2 years, changed his whole persona and turned into a monster of a fighter at heavyweight. Moses Atama got better. Not the only. Tank is in that, Tank is in that conversation of he's still just as great, but there's no improvement in his game that I've seen in the last 2 years. It's up here. It's still here. It ain't gone down, but it ain't gone up. And you at the prime of your career, it should be going up by now. I should be seeing something else, but I'm not. And I got to start asking, since what looks to be 2 years of, yeah, It's the same Tank. This, I'm not saying that in a bad way, but also it's the same Tank. With everybody else around you actively improving in some way, shape, or form in the last year or two, where is your elevation as well as a fighter? And right now, I'm not seeing it, and that is concerning. That is concerning. Because we shouldn't be having this talk of you've peaked at this stage in your career. We shouldn't. Or the potential of Tank has peaked. We shouldn't be talking about that. We should be saying this is the best he's ever been. But he's been the same way for upwards of 2 years. I'm not calling it bad. I'm saying I expect to see, just like with his other peers, a standpoint of addition and elevation to what his boxing ability is in some way, shape, form, or capacity. But I'm seeing and saying the same stuff. It's the same Tank. It's not bad. It's great. But it's just not what I expected. Honestly, I expected some more from the brother, if I'm being completely honest. But even still, let me keep on reading what you got to say. Kid Austin ranked number 1 in the WBA rankings for Tank. Will Tank take this high-risk fight? Or high-risk, low-reward fight? Lord, I hope so. I hope so. After he fights against Lamont Roach, if he wins that fight, yeah, he better fight Floyd Schofield. He better. He better. There's no reason why not to now. It makes no sense not to now. He's gotten a social media profile. He's gaining a following. His dad has helped make him into a real behemoth of a name. His dad also is, just like with Bill Haney, has turned that whole Schofield name into an actual entity. Whether you love it or hate it, whether you love Schofield Sr. or you hate Schofield Sr., brother, he's kept his son in the news. He's now a legitimate commodity, especially after knocking out the likes of Tevin Farmer. There's no reason why now the risk isn't at least somewhat substantiated by a reward that's worthwhile. You can't say that people don't want to see it. You can't say that people wouldn't want to pay for that fight. You can't. We would love to see that fight. I wish it would happen. I hope it happens. But again, sadly, the cards are in Tank's corner, unless the WBA makes it so that Tank has to defend against the mandatory in Tank. If that does happen, my gosh, blow me away. That'd be great. Hey, stick to your guns and make it happen if you're the belt commission. But if you don't, then it's up to the man. Because Tank does still hold most of the cards in this division for who he can and cannot fight, who he does and doesn't want to fight. I hate it, but that's the truth. And so, let me see. Terrence Crawford, let me see. Move, man. Hold on. What's good with you, brother? How you doing? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in to the show. So glad that you are here with us on today. Let me see what you got to say right now. Terrence is a great boxer, great athlete, but it's a difference in weight, in weight size. Man, if he was getting clipped against Magimov, imagine Canelo hitting him with the big power shot. Tank, the most overrated fighter as well. So, okay, so we'll discuss this in a two-pronged way. First, since we were just talking about Tank, overrated from a talent standpoint, no, from a legacy standpoint, yes. That's the thing. Now, I'll say this, if he loses to Lamont Roach or struggles again to Lamont Roach, I promise you, then the talks of overrated, they're going to be loud. They're going to be very loud, and they might have some more validity. What is going on with me today? They might have more validity to it if he does indeed struggle in or lose against Lamont Roach. That, hey, you ain't as good as you said you were. And now we know why you didn't want to fight Shakur, Lomachenko, Abdullah Mason, Floyd Schofield, Teofimo Lopez, Ryan Garcia, a second time at 140, Devin Haney. Now we know. Because it would have been could have been a struggle. But I don't think he is overrated right now. I don't think so. Legacy, absolutely. Don't talk about with Tank and legacy. Don't talk about that with me, because he has none. He has no legacy to stand on. I've said countless times before, unless Tank goes through and fights against the gauntlet of fighters that he should have been fighting since when he was 26, 27 years old, the quality opponents, the actual champions in the division, then we can have a conversation. But right now, he doesn't fit that mold because he hasn't done anything to warrant that conversation. Nothing at all. And so on that aspect, yeah, he's overrated. But in the talent department, no, I don't think he is. I don't think it's Tank shouldn't be a cherry picker at this point in his career. You could be a cherry picker at the end. In all honesty, you shouldn't be cherry picking at all. But especially right now at your prime, when you are in the thick of your career, right now with a rejuvenated lightweight division, you cannot afford, or you should not have the luxury of being able, this is with anybody, you shouldn't have the luxury of just being able to pick and choose who you want and never taking tests at all. I get that as a name, you get afforded amenities that others don't. That comes with the territory. We understand that. You can't call your shots. We get that. But there still should be a code of conduct and a walking code of ethics when it comes to you making a decision to finally put your talent to the test and show how great you really are. I'm going to show you how great I am. Shoot, Ali says it on the wall. Literally. It's one of them pictures that go in and change between like depending on what angle you look at it. But like in the midst of the overlapping pictures, one of them is the quote, I'm gonna show you how great I am. You gotta do it at some point. You have to. I'm not saying every fight has to be a killer, but you gotta do something with something. You got to, if you don't do something with anything, oh my gosh, how great are you really? That's the issue. And Tank at this stage should not be having those conversations. Because he should be indeed walking in a place where you've gotten all these names now. He could move different if he acted different earlier, but he didn't act different earlier, so now he can't move like he wants to now. But he's going to because he still has the power. Which, again, is slowly but surely dwindling away. Don't be surprised, all that talk that he said about not working with Turkey Al Sheikh, watch that go down the gutter in less than 2 years. I promise you. I dare say by the end of the Zepeda and Shakur fight, I can almost guarantee that we're gonna see Tank and Shakur fighting. By the end of it. By early next year. I can almost guarantee we're gonna see in some way, shape, or form an announcement, Shakur versus Tank. For Riyadh season. It'll be in New York. It'll be in the States because it's gonna be too big for it not to. It will be too much money to not have that happen in the States. Turkey knows that as well. Yes, he has events in Saudi Arabia, but he also knows where the money is. That's why he's putting Canelo and Crawford in. I think it's Las Vegas in Raider Stadium, or Arlington, Texas, one of the two. Either way, but I guarantee you, he'll do it. I promise you do. Because he won't get nearly the same amount of money anywhere else because everybody's starting to see, hey man, we got names now. We collectively have a plethora of people that we can go in and put on great fights with. The people are now starting to pay to see on a consistent basis. So you ain't the only cash cow in the fold, though you are still the biggest. If you want to work, come work against the people that do work. And I promise you, I can guarantee we can see that happen. No question about it. But let me see. You also posted this one. Terrence Crawford. Terrence is a great boxer. Difference in weight, but it's a difference in the weight size. If he get clipped against Majimov, imagine him getting hit by Canelo with a power shot. See, and I think I've said this before. And you might have been here, you might not. I can't remember specifically. But to explain why this fight is more intriguing, we get the power standpoint absolutely. Sure, Canelo can knock out Crawford. When Duran moved up to fight Marvin Hagler at middleweight, when he was coming up from lightweight at 135, moved up to 147, where he fought the likes of Leonard and others, then moved up to fight against Hearns and Hagler and all this, and moving up in weight, sure. The risk of getting knocked out absolutely is there. Sugar Ray Leonard fighting against Marvin Hagler. After fighting at 147, moving up to 160 to fight Hagler, risk of getting knocked out was there, absolutely. All that's valid, it is. But that's not the end all be all. The issue is with Crawford versus Canelo. When we're looking at that fight, It's not just can Crawford land a punch, but the flip side is can Crawford last into the later rounds with the stamina issues that we know he has? And what if this brother isn't able to knock down Terrence Crawford? What if the physicality that we see Crawford potentially be disadvantaged with against Canelo is not a problem? And it's not something that is so great that it's unbeatable. Because see, here's the thing. Here's what you have to understand. With this fight, what makes it so intriguing? On all accounts, I think Crawford's a better fighter than Canelo Alvarez. By every skillful metric, I think Crawford's a more talented fighter. For me, that's how I feel. I truly do. Because we've also seen Canelo regress as a fighter. What will Crawford look like at 160 or 168? I don't know. That's understandable. That's another hypothetical entirely. No question about it. But still, from the standpoint of just looking at it as verbatim as possible, or as cleanly as possible, Crawford, from my standpoint, is a better fighter. Absolutely. But Canelo is a great fighter. Both of them are elite. I think Crawford's skill set is more elite than Canelo right now, but Canelo's skill set is still elite. It's just also backed by better physicals around him, better attributes around him. Like the power, like the strength, perceived to be the strength, the durability, all that stuff. Like I've talked about this with heavyweights. Tyson Fury was a good heavyweight from a skill set perspective, a good heavyweight with elite size. Usyk was a great heavyweight. Usyk was an elite heavyweight with good size. Usyk's skill set was elite, but his size was only good. Fury's skill set was good, but his size was elite. That's what made him so hard to beat. Because he could fight like smaller men, and he had a good skill set all around. But he was also 6'6", with an 85-inch reach. 6'7" in some cases. It's ridiculous. Usyk got the best boxing in the heavyweight division, but he's only 6'3", 220. Fury was 6'6", 6'7", 280, 290 at one case when he fought against Deontay Wilder. So we're saying, hey, brother, that's hard to beat. When you can move like a small man, even relatively, even if it's not great, if you can just simulate the movement of a small man, but you had that size, buddy, that's ridiculous. That's preposterous. That's what made him so hard to beat. But because Usyk was elite, skill-wise, he overcame the elite size of Fury by using his better boxing. Crawford can do that same thing. Though this is a tougher test, or perceived to be a potential tougher test, because of the fact that Canelo is also an elite, skillful fighter with better size. Crawford is more elite. And while his size looks to be comparable, we still see the advantages of what we know Canelo has done for the whole of his career are there. Knocking out Kovalev, competing at 175, going 3 rounds with Gennady Golovkin. His body of work also shows, hey, brother, I'm a physical anomaly. Just like you. Some may say better. That's the scary thing. But it is not something that it's so out of pocket that Crawford can't beat. It's not. Not at all. Not at all. And you have to also understand, what if Canelo isn't able to use that size advantage? Then what? What if he can't use it? What if he can't use it effectively? Because everybody thought Leonard was gonna die against the likes of Marvin Hagler. Or a lot of people did. They wanted to see the fight, but they were like, hey, brother, you're gonna get hurt. Especially when you first went up to 160 and you got knocked down multiple times against another brother before you ultimately knocked him out. Oh, I forget his name at the moment in time. But like that's concerning. And we just saw Marvin Hagler destroy Tommy Hearns at 160? Oh my gosh, yeah. No, that's ridiculous. That's insane. It's horrifying. But that's what we are dealing with. That is the crux of this whole argument. What if Canelo and his skill set aren't enough to win this fight if his physical advantage isn't as dominant as we expect it to be? That's the thing. And that's why I'm saying I don't think that this weight discrepancy is going to be as big of a factor as you may believe. I don't think it's going to be that big of a factor or as big of a factor. Sure, Canelo can catch him. Yeah, absolutely. As can anybody. I'll even say that the hand speed of Canelo is underrated to the point that Crawford better watch out, because he can potentially get caught with a shot that he don't see coming, because he underestimates the speed that Canelo brings to the table when he's fully going for broke, when he's fully committing, when he's looking for that catch and shoot counter. Not just the shots that you can see coming when he loads up to the body, when he is looking to throw that left hook to the body that he loves to throw, or any hook to the body for that matter, that you can see it coming. But like when he does let his hands go, his hands are underratedly fast. They are. He can't put combinations together. Yes, he can. He can do some damage. Oh, yes, he can. And that's part of the reason why, again, I do have Canelo winning. Don't get it. I do. But I also know this is a 50-50 fight for a reason. Because I'm not buying into as much confidence to the physical advantages that Canelo has to offer. Because I'm telling you, we've seen these physical gifts be done away with before. Multiple times by people. George Foreman by Ali. Foreman by Evander Holyfield even. Though Foreman was older. And Holyfield said that's the hardest I've ever been hit. Ever. I don't know what he hit me with, but if he was younger, oh shoot, that would have been scary. But we've seen it. We've seen it done away with. We have seen it handled. We've seen it outgunned. Floyd versus Diego Corrales. Floyd versus Canelo early on in Canelo's career. Gennady Golovkin versus Canelo, who was perceived to be, Golovkin was and is a killer. And Canelo went to war with that brother for 2 fights. Third fight, yeah, he won because Golovkin was old. Though Golovkin won the last 4 rounds of that fight. It was like, we've seen this story before. I'm not saying it's going to be a real thing. We've seen Bob Foster cut Muhammad Ali over the eye. One of the few instances when anybody has cut Muhammad Ali in the ring. One of the few. And this is Bob Foster coming up from light heavyweight to heavyweight to challenge Ali for the title. And he made him bleed. Ridiculous. Now, again, Ali beat him, yes, but still. Like, we know success can happen. So we can't turn out that all of a sudden Crawford just ain't got a shot in the world and that this is just too much. It's not too much. Crawford's one of the pound-for-pound strongest fighters in the world. That's not hyperbole. That is real. We just had a clip. Hey, look, I'll show you this right now. I'll show you this right now. If I can find the clip, I will show you Terrence Crawford wrestling Big Baby Miller. Yeah, right here. Even though it's playful. But this is 300-pound Big Baby Miller. But who was on steroids and all. But who made Andy Ruiz look small in the ring. Because he's just he's a Lego block. Jarrell Miller is a Lego block. This is the brother who changed Daniel Dubois forever as a person. As a fighter. Look. Take a look at what is it? Take a look at what this brother did. Wait, let me make sure it's up.
You? Okay, so you want to wrestle now? Okay, Mr. Crawford.
Now look at this.
You?
Drill is actually struggling. Drill's trying to squat down and get some leverage and get some stability with it. Crawford is not letting it happen.
No, you wasn't. You thought you was.
Let's try it again.
No.
How does he do against Canelo?
Let's stop him. It's gonna be a great fucking fight.
Hey, excuse the language.
Was he strong?
See? But this is Big Baby Jarrell Miller, who's been in the ring with multiple incredibly strong heavyweights like Daniel Dubois. This brother's saying Crawford is strong as all get out. This brother's, even playfully, this man is wrestling Jarrell Miller, and Jarrell Miller actually has to struggle. Like, he actually has to put some effort in to stay up. This isn't a fluke when we talk about what we know Crawford is as a person. We're not just trying to hype up somebody for means of getting excited for the fight. I'm telling you, Crawford is not somebody to play with when it comes to looking at the dimensions of this fight, and more specifically his ability to match Canelo physically, let alone take the punishment that he's going to get dished out on him. And we also are just talking as if it's a done deal that Crawford's going to get caught with a clean shot and he won't be able to, and it's going to be over outright, as if he doesn't have some of the best defense in boxing. Let's not forget that either. Remember, one of the concerns with David Benavidez wasn't just his ability to punch in the bigger weight classes, but his ability to take a shot now that you got people that are at your level in size or more closer to your level in size. And guess what happened? He beat Gvozdyk cleanly and 8 shots and was able to keep on trucking. He got rocked against David Morrell. Understandable. But mind you, he only got rocked twice. And in 10 rounds, 12 rounds, he was only able to be caught cleanly, like flushed cleanly, twice in 36 minutes. Do I have that right? Do I got my let me make sure I got my math right. Hold on. Let me make sure I got my math right. Yeah, 36 minutes. 12 rounds his buddy was able to stay up against David Morrell, one of the hardest hitting super middleweights and what looks to be still an incredibly impactful light heavyweight fighter in David Morrell. He stayed up with that brother and stayed up when he got caught and recovered just like that. And put a pounding on him while walking forward and having sublime levels of defense to make almost everything that David Morrell did obsolete. Outside of that one shot when David Morrell threw a counter off the ropes, and then the other shot that was after the bell, when David Benavidez got caught and got hurt again. But again, after the bell, when the ref said stop, an illegal shot was the only other shot that caught Benavidez and had that brother wobble, because he wasn't able to defend himself because the round was over. So in all actuality, for 36 minutes, he got caught once, and he was able to recover quickly and stayed up. We know how great Canelo is. Canelo's a better fighter than David Benavidez. We can't say that Canelo can't do a similar level of quality defensive work and come out the other side great. We can't say that. Knowing that we've also said that Canelo's own defense has regressed as well within his own right. So it ain't just Crawford that got worried about getting hit, brother. It's Canelo. Hearing a lot of similar stuff that we said about Errol Spence Jr. Errol Spence is not Canelo. I completely understand. But some of these arguments are the same thing. Even with a different caliber fighter, we also understand we've seen this blueprint before. Beyond just Spence and Crawford. And we know this can be a competitive fight that some people may be underestimating. I promise you. I'm telling you. Benavidez versus Yard, who you got? I've got the Mexican Monster. I do too. I do absolutely as well. And I got Benavidez by unanimous decision. Now again, I think I've said this 3 times before. And I think this was after you had came in. So again, we appreciate you coming in. And anybody else tuning in, please leave a like on the stream. This is the championship rounds. We want to hear from you. Go ahead, comment your thoughts, comment your opinions, your debates, all that stuff. The whole show going in and out don't matter to me. Just come in and support. Leave a like on the stream, please. It means the world to me. We want to get this show off the ground. We want to make this thing great, and we can't do this without you. Keep on sharing, keep on liking, keep on subscribing if you haven't already. Keep on hitting the notification bell so you know what we do. And if you want to support the show while we don't have super chats yet, please, Cash Apps, PayPal, anything you can give in the description as well also are the links. And so, hey, come support if you like what you're hearing and you want to keep this show going. Absolutely would mean the world to me. Hey, maybe on the side of you got some extra money that you got left for food. Hey, give it to a show that we trying to give some substance as well while you at the grill. So it would mean the world to me. But regardless of which, I got Benavidez, and I've said it before. Again, some of you might be hearing it again, but still, if Yard is coming like he did against Artur Beterbiev, we got ourselves a dangerous fight, and we got ourselves a fight that Benavidez can actually lose in dramatic fashion, because that Yard was no joke. That Yard pushed Benavidez to the limit in that. Yes, he did. That was a whole debacle. A whole insane fight. Oh, it was insane. Oh, it was ridiculous. Back and forth, lefts and rights, going across the way. It was incredible work. I loved it. I can't wait to see more of it. But again, if it's not that Yard that came against Artur Beterbiev, and it was a Yard that fought against the likes of Lyndon Arthur in his most recent fight, I don't think Yard's going to be able to win. One, as somebody brought up a great point, it was, I'm sorry, I thought I saw something broke on Twitter. My bad, my apologies. One, because stamina, as somebody brought up earlier in the chat, stamina is going to be a huge concern. Anthony Yard has gassed out multiple times in his career. Anthony Yard is not somebody that's able to withstand and sustain that consistent level of high octane offense for long. And if you can survive past 7, now he starts getting winded. You see the deep breaths being taken. You see the offense start to slow down and wane. You see some of the sluggishness, some of the lactic acid in the muscles then starts to accumulate. You see the punches become more telegraphed. You see the shots become slower, less powerful. They're more so pushing shots rather than shots with real pop. Not saying he still ain't got pop even when he's tired, but it's a lot more manageable. Yes, it is. And if he gets, especially with going up against somebody this tall in Benavidez, if he's going up against this brother and he can't get around the jab, that's just more work. Because Benavidez got an underrated jab, boy. I'm telling you, that thing is stiff. It is powerful. It will pop you. It will hurt you. It does more than sting. That thing comes out quick like a viper and it hits like a rock. It'll mess you up. And he can throw that out for all fight long. He can counter you with it. He can set you up for it. He can throw you off the game with it. He can punch and frame. He can punch and pivot. He can punch and set up another shot. That jab can start a flurry. That jab can start a off-angle setup. That jab can blind you. That jab can hurt you. Benavidez's jab is great. It's so good. Yard can struggle with it immensely, especially with the reach disadvantage. Not to mention the fact that Benavidez and his defense can allow him to, especially now, with the ability to gauge and control distance at an elite level. It's elite now. To be able to mitigate where you can and cannot throw. And where his offense starts and your offense stops. He's gotten to, it's elite. And he can make Yard swing and miss while being able to pepper away with shots that break you down, not to mention the shots to the body. Oh, let's not forget that he still got some of the best, he still has some of the best infighting in all of boxing. Some of the best work on the inside, being able to fight in and out of the clinch, chasing you down after the clinch, making it so that you can't rest and recover, but you also can't hit him. Always, he's a monster. He's a monster. Now, this will probably be, outside of David Lemieux, this will probably be Benavidez's strongest opponent that he's ever faced from the standpoint of just outright physical gifts and physical ability. Oh, that's no question. Oh, absolutely. But he can mitigate that. He can handle that. He can diminish that effectiveness on the side of Yard with his knowledge and intellect. It's a beautiful thing. Told you he's turning into a well-rounded fighter. While Yard has stagnated, and that's the third thing. Yard is stagnated. Yard is not the Yard that we expect to see as he's 27-0, 27-3, 24 KOs, but Yard is not the Yard that we expected to see going into this fight, who has not improved as to the point that he should be improving with all of the experience that he's garnered thus far in his career. And as we covered in the last show, due to his trainer, in part, because they ain't teaching him nothing. He ain't critiquing him. He ain't helping him. Seemingly. He is not being in this corner as an ear of resolution. He's a yes man in some cases. In a lot of cases. So as somebody brought up in the chat earlier, as you know, he had an interview. I learned from him. He doesn't learn from me. He doesn't need to learn anything else. That's problematic. That's problematic. That is a doomed formula.
Hey, look at this. We got the problems here. We got the problems here.
That is a failing formula that is built to go awry. That's the type of thought process that will get you knocked out. That is the type of thought process that will get you destroyed. That's the type of thought process that will have you're one and done when it comes to a championship aspiration. You did it. That's it. Then and Benavidez can expose all of that. Yard can knock him out. Oh, no question he can. We know Benavidez is vulnerable. Absolutely. But like I keep on saying, this brother is a pound-for-pound top 10 fighter in Dave Benavidez. He is better now than he ever was at 168. I am telling you. I am telling you. He is better now than he was at 168. No question in my mind. If you think differently, you have not been watching Dave Benavidez throughout his entire career. You have failed to witness the growth of what this man is as a fighter. You have failed to let yourself be witness to the greatness that is blooming right in front of us. This man, the Mexican Monster, is continually fight after fight, night after night, on every single example that he displays is built off the backs of what just happened in the prior fight. It's ridiculous. It's such a rapid and innate growth that just continues to it's like a car that gets new mods every single time out that makes it better. It becomes more fine-tuned. It becomes more manageable for David Benavidez. It becomes easier for David. Things are now becoming second nature that weren't second nature before. The blocking is now more nuanced. He's got 3 different blocking styles now. High guard, cross guard. Shoot, he can even do a little bit of a Philly shell if he needs to. Head movement, anticipating shots. It's wonderful, beautiful. The jab's gotten better. The counterpunching is great now. The combinations are still there, but the reliance on the power is not. Because the power has never been, again, he's had bludgeoning power at 168, but it is not, when that went away at 175 from its effectiveness, it didn't let him change, it didn't make him change for the worse. He still stayed true to what he does best. Don't go away from what wins. But now have a more effective delivery system to still be the fighter that we know you can be. That's what he's done. That's what he's done. He still floods the basement like Teddy Atlas always says. He still goes through and dictates the pace of a fight. He still is able to walk and box and swim without getting wet on a better clip than he ever could. He's better at making it so that he doesn't even have to block punches to get away from him, because he's able to feint and use his height deceptively to make you think you're in range when you ain't. He's gotten better instincts to be able to lean back and use subtle head movement to get out the way. Everything about Dave Benavidez has become better. There's nothing that's worse about him. Nothing. The only thing that's worse is his power. And his power is just the same it was, or his power is just the same as it was at 175, at 168. It's just at 175, the people are more durable. They can take shots. There are bigger punchers at 175 than David Benavidez. But there are not many better fighters outside of 2 than David Benavidez. That's the truth. That's the bold-faced truth. Outside of Bivol and Beterbiev, you can't name me 3 fighters better than David Benavidez. Not Callum Smith, not Joshua Buatsi, not Anthony Yarde. None of them. If there's a top 5, Benavidez is 3. And he's no lower. Not just because he's got the interim belt, not just because he's a mandatory, or excuse me, not because he's a champion, not just because he's a champion full blown, but because this brother is the real deal. He ain't just got a belt for nothing. The title ain't just a trinket. The title isn't a bad reflection on what he is as a fighter. This brother is legit. And if anything, this brother, now more than ever, would beat Canelo Alvarez if they fought against each other right now. That's the truth. That's the truth. If Canelo fought David Benavidez right now, Canelo would lose. He would lose. I can say that confidently now. If Canelo fought David Benavidez, Canelo Alvarez is losing that fight. He's losing that fight. I don't care about his greatness. I don't care about his legacy. If he's talking about fighting David Benavidez right now, with how Canelo is right now, he is losing that fight. Because he should have fought him 2 years ago when he wasn't this good. You should have fought him 2 years ago when he wasn't this good. Because now, he's better than even I expected him to be. I'm going to be real. I didn't expect him to be an actual threat to the likes of Bivol or Beterbiev. But lo and behold, I'm saying that now. I'm saying he's got a shot at beating at least Bivol if he fought against him. Artur Beterbiev, from a stylistic standpoint, would be a tougher matchup. Oh, no question. But he can still compete with Beterbiev, and I could pick him to beat Bivol if he does everything right. That's the ability that he's got to. I didn't think he would ever get to that point. He's there now. I don't know what, like, this Benavidez is nothing like the Benavidez that we wanted to fight against Canelo all those years ago. This brother is a monster in the truest sense. See, he was a monster from the standpoint of aura, violence, and again, production, absolutely. But now, ability, he's fully encapsulated that role. Fully. He is the monster moniker. It's fully there now. It's beyond just, oh, he'll destroy you. He will cut you up. He'll bludgeon you. He'll make you swell. He'll break your face. It's beyond just the physical damage. Now, from a skill point perspective, this brother is a monster. This brother is a scary sight. This man is a top 10 fighter because he is legitimately a top 10 fighter. This brother's a dog. More than a dog, brother. He runs the yard. He's a wolf. Like I said, you can't describe him because he goes beyond just the normal means of animalistic nature. He is a monster. A complete monster. That is ridiculous to go against right now. And if Canelo fought him, he would lose. He ain't bigger than the game. He's regressed as a fighter. And he has continually shown that his own talent has slowly but surely regressed as time has gone on. He's not using head movement the same. He's having a tougher time cutting off movers. He's better at it now, absolutely, than he was earlier in his career. But now the foot speed ain't the same anymore. The defense, he's adapted, absolutely, but it's nowhere close to the nuanced and vast ability to get out the way in multiple occasions as it was earlier in his career. Offensively, he's not the same anymore. He ain't. Even his power. But he couldn't get Charlo out of there. He couldn't get William Skull out of there. Yes, they were running. Not boxing, running. They were. They weren't trying to fight. But even still, he had more success landing on Charlo than Skull. Charlo was at least more in front of him than the likes of Skull was, and he still, after putting him down, couldn't put him away, and he had him hurt. He couldn't knock out John Ryder after knocking him down like twice. In fact, John Ryder was coming back in that fight and at least putting up some valiant displays within the last 2 rounds of the fight, 3 rounds of the fight, actually. Edgar Berlanga knocked him down. Wasn't able to knock him out. Munguia, he could have knocked him out. He willingly held back, and it was apparent in that fight. He could have actually gotten Munguia out of there. That's the one fight of all of them that he could have actually ended, but he didn't, because he was essentially had showing mercy against Munguia. He said it himself, and you could see it in that fight, holding him up. Legitimately trying to teach lessons throughout that fight. And he was not going, okay, I'm going to end you. He wasn't doing it. It was apparent. But outside of that, most of the fights has been 4 to 5, but he couldn't end it. So why isn't his power in question? People say that, man, Charlo was afraid of the power. Sure. But at the same time, he got up from it. He tasted the worst of it and got up from it. And he just didn't try afterwards. If you mean to tell me that Canelo, if he tastes the power and is able to stand up to it, you mean to tell me that he's going to not try to win and just lay down and die after he tastes the power of Canelo Alvarez? And it's not as bad as he thinks? Or it's survivable? I'm not trying to just say that it's a wash and Canelo just is going to be a bum on the fight night. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is that we have to be real about this. And there is a real discrepancy in the ability of what Canelo used to be versus now. And even against similar situations like with Charlo, with even less activity and more free reign, that you could do whatever you want against an opponent. And you still didn't do it. And you still couldn't put him out. And you still couldn't go and knock him out. When this brother was running scared. There is something to say that when it comes to Canelo and Crawford, we have to be mindful of exactly how we're putting this fight into perspectives of Crawford is just too small and Canelo is just too big. Because if that was the only thing that made sense for why these fights aren't acceptable, then we wouldn't see Usyk beat Fury. We wouldn't. We wouldn't have seen Holyfield beat Tyson. Because Tyson was objectively the stronger fighter and a more powerful fighter. And had been knocking out people bigger than Holyfield consistently. We wouldn't have seen Jack Dempsey. I think it was what was it? Was it Jack Dempsey that knocked out let me see, let me check out that right. What was it? Was it a Max Baer or was it Max Baer or Max Schmeling? Yeah, I think it was Max Baer. I think it was Max Baer when he did a Dempsey roll. I believe. Was it? Hold on, let me make sure. Who was it? Oh, let me get my history right before I continue. Hold on a minute. Wait a minute. I'm gonna get this right now. That's what it was, Gene Tunney. Doggone it. That's what I was thinking. It was Gene Tunney. When he fought against Gene Tunney. And when he knocked out Gene Tunney. And it was like Gene Tunney was at that point in time like, oh shoot, can you believe it? Can this actually be? He did it. Like he did it. And so that fight wouldn't have happened. Hearns versus Leonard wouldn't have happened. Hagler versus Leonard wouldn't have happened. Duran versus Hearns, Duran versus light heavyweight. Duran versus Iran Barkley wouldn't have happened. Roy Jones Jr. versus John Ruiz for the title wouldn't have happened. All these different fights wouldn't have happened. Joe Frazier or George Foreman versus Ali, it wouldn't have happened. All of these fights were laden with the issue of the brother's just too big to beat. You're too small. You can't overcome that. You can't. There's nothing you can do to beat that type of size. Once you get tagged, you're done. Completely nullifying the other side of the equation of what if the other brother gets hurt too. Not to mention how the smaller guy can actually take out the other brother. Completely acting like it's just not in the cards at all. That's a ridiculous sentiment because that's just not right. That's not boxing. That's just not boxing. It don't work like that. It never has worked like that. And it will never work like that, regardless of what we may feel. Because this sport is more than just size beats all. If that was the case, Usyk would never be heavyweight champion. Tyson would have definitely never have been a heavyweight champion. Never. Never have been a heavyweight champion. Holyfield, same thing. And that was the case. What's the word? The Russian brother who was the 7-foot tall Russian brother that fought against David Haye, who was reigning champion for like I think it was like 3 years. I believe. Let me try to look it up real quick. What's it? Yeah. Versus Nikolai Valuev. Nikolai Valuev, 7-foot brother, like 280, 290, 7 feet tall. Reigning heavyweight champion, which is a big bald cat that was just putting everybody to sleep. Because this cat was legitimately, it's like if Shaq could fight. I'm so serious. It was if Shaq could fight, he would be Nikolai Valuev. I'm dead serious. I'm sorry. He wasn't 290. He wasn't 290. He was 320. Going up against David Haye. And so, 85-inch reach, ridiculous, insane, preposterous. That fight wouldn't have happened. That fight wouldn't have even been able to transpire if it wasn't for, if we had the argument of just size, men, everything in this sport. Thank gosh it doesn't. Thank the Lord that it doesn't. Because if it did, we'd be bad off. We would definitely be bad off. But I think, but just to end the thought, this fight with Crawford and Canelo, this isn't just some ho-hum type of deal. This is legitimate. This is real. This is exciting. And be invested. Because I guarantee you, I have a strong inkling that in a little bit, I'm going to change my pick. I'm not saying it's going to happen. But in a little bit, I might be changing my pick. I might just be changing my pick. Because I'm telling you, the more I'm looking into this fight, this ain't just some light work for Canelo. It's some dangerous territory. It's some really dangerous territory. That if I am wrong, I am wrong. But I really don't think I'm going to be wrong. Because I know what I'm expecting. And I know who we're dealing with. Not just with Canelo, but on the side of Crawford. I know what brother we talking about. This ain't just some ho-hum brother. This is a guy who has routinely showed he's one of them ones who can take out anybody. And because of that, I promise you, it ain't gonna be what you think it is. It ain't gonna be what you think it is. I still got Canelo for now, but it's gonna be close. And as we get closer, you might see me change. I'm a full disclaimer. You might see me change, but we're gonna have those conversations more and more as time goes on. Right now, let me do one last check to make sure ain't nothing else broke in the world of sports thus far, whether it's trades or anything else of the like. And if not, I think we're going to pack it up and send it home, and we're going to get out of here. Let me just be sure. Hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait, up. Wait. Hold. Hold on. And, wait a minute. Braun pulled up to the Cavs training facility. Oh, wait. Is he getting traded? No, I'm kidding. Ain't nobody getting traded. Not yet anyway. So we're going to wait and see. Unless something else breaks, I think we're about to wrap it up. And I think that's it. I was trying to make sure we didn't miss anything with the, potentially the NBA and with the potential 17 trade going through with the Lakers, Grizzlies, Hawks, Warriors, Timberwolves, and somebody else, I think. I can't, somebody else. I can't remember, but it's about 17. It's been talked about. Don't know if it's going to happen yet. If it do, hey, we'll have some breaking news, but I think, ain't nothing broke yet. So I think we're going to wrap it up sitting home. So with all of that being said, this has been a special July 4th edition of The Watchable with me, your host, Jean-Luc Welch. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening to the show. We appreciate it so much. Thank you for taking some time out this weekend and on this day to listen and be entertained and have some fun on this show. We had a blast. Again, this whole show was a championship round show. We do this every Friday. Also, we're going to have this show on the podcast coming up after, once we're done with this, we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to see you all next week. We got a lot to cover. We got Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano next week. We got a bunch of fights coming down the pipe on next week that we got to discuss and talk about. Absolutely. So we can't wait for that. Also, news in the NBA and other sports world. We're going to talk about that as well. Leave a like on the stream before you go. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell. Share the show with everybody that you can. Comment what you like and didn't like about the show. And rate us 5 stars on the podcast. If you want to give, Cash App, PayPal, links in the description also. And we will see you all next week, actually. And so enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your July 4th. Eat, sleep, be merry, have some fun. But please, be responsible. please be responsible. Absolutely. And be safe out there. But hey, I love you. Can't wait to see you. And we're going to be back next week. So, I'm Jean-Luc Welch. Y'all have been beautiful and wonderful. Peace and love. We are out of here. Yes, sir. We gonna see you all next week.